that better? Is that better? I think I fixed it. Everyone back? We're back. We're back. We're good. We're good. We sorted it. We sorted it. Sorry, guys. I don't know what happened. Oh, I could finally have some coffee. We're back, guys. We're back. We're back. Oh, dear. Hope you're all well. Hope you're all well. F1 is finally back. I'm back. It's hella early. It is. Yeah, it is early. It is. I've been up earlier, though. Taco, we've been up earlier. We're going to be up earlier when it comes to Australia in a few weeks' time. But yes, it is. I was up at 6:30. So, yeah. I've taken a few days off work, guys. Just for you. Just for you. So, yes. But F1 is fully underway now. F1 is fully underway. So we don't have any driver colours out on the grid, as you can see. They're all blank. Don't know why. Probably because it's testing. So, yeah. But at the moment, Liam Lawson is the fastest man at 35.8. Now, if you're unaware, what happened earlier, the stream cut off. Yeah, I was having some technical issues. To put it lightly. So we're all good though. We're all good now. I sorted it out. I had to. So basically, what I've done over the past week is that baby's room. This is now baby's room. And yeah, I've had to move my rig from one side of the room to the other, and with that, unplugging stuff. Spending 5 years looking at the left-hand side of my screen rather than the right-hand side. Although I flipped the image here. It's very different, so that's why the intermission looks like I am on the other side of the screen, but on this image, on this scene, I'm flipped. So, but yeah, looking forward to 3 days of testing. Never thought I'd hear myself say that, but hey ho, here we are. And yeah, F1 season is fully underway. I'm planning. I filmed my predictions video, so I'm hoping to get that out later on this evening for you guys. So I'm going to keep my predictions stum for today, and then yeah, go from there. But hopefully now we've ironed out the kinks very early on. We're hoping to have some guests over the next couple of days from the Missed Apex crew who can join us for a chat, so that it's not just me waffling on for 3 days, but happy to provide it to you all. And yeah, looking forward to the season ahead, guys. Hey, Libby. Doesn't seem like the cars are going too fast. No, they won't. So what you're going to see here this week gaming is that I'd be very surprised if we see any sort of very fast laps. We will get the fastest lap at Bahrain in race trim for last year, and in regards to testing as well. The teams will have a number of routines or test plans set out, so they'll be looking to obviously analyze all the data, check out how the new parts on the car are working. Of course, we've got new tyre compounds this year as well. Obviously, a new kind of construction, but Pirelli update year on, year out. So the teams will be figuring out how that works with, of course, their updated designs. But it's the last year of a regulation set, and we'll see how it's going to go. But yeah, and does anyone really want to hold back pace? I mean, I don't know. I feel like sandbagging just... It doesn't really matter if you show your hand or not, because at the end of the day, if you're quick, you're quick, and it probably means quite a good thing to kind of show to your competitors in the last year of a regulation set that you're looking pretty good. Of course, it's going to be really intriguing to see who is going to give up quickest this season, who's going to write off this season earliest, and then start focusing on next year. Last year pole was 129.179 and fast lap was 132.6. Oh, brilliant. There you go. So this is what we're collaborating here, guys. We're collaborating. Of course, I'm going to need your guys' assistance and help to get through this next 3 days. But yeah, thanks for tuning in as always. But Lewis Hamilton up there in P2. Antonelli, of course, another one who's not wanting to get plenty of laps in this morning, or over these next 3 days. Don't think Yantoshis we're going to take in a week to do a driving school in some Formula cars. Oh, wicked, mate. You need to film that. You need to get some footage. That's going to be awesome. Alonso Aston going to be the first one to write off this season. You know what, Alex? I don't have high hopes for Aston Martin this year. Yeah, I really don't. So, no point moving in up because I save that wind tunnel time for when Newey is available for gardening leave. Yeah. You're cynical, but so am I. And I don't disagree. Yeah, I think Aston Martin, it could be a tricky year for them. And it could be a tricky year for Fernando Alonso to navigate through. We know how he can get a bit iffy. He can throw his toys out the pram. So, it's over Mercedes in P20, yeah. Yeah, so obviously, if you're unaware of how testing works, so in the morning session and AM session, in the AM and PM session, normally it's 2 different drivers participating in each morning and afternoon session. However, that's not always the case. Teams have done in the past. One driver does the first day, another driver does the second day, and then they split it in the last day or something like that. So they all have different run plans. It may be that we don't see any of the drivers like Verstappen, Norris, Leclerc, etc. today. It may be that they're just going to be here tomorrow. But I doubt it. I think 4 hours is a long time for testing in an F1 car. It kind of makes sense to swap out both drivers at some point. Windows is now trying to get me to update it. Windows is now trying to get me to update. Do not sign me out again, please. Do not sign me out again. So yeah, that's why we might not see some of the bottom drivers, the 10 that are yet to go out. But yeah, at least everyone's been out there and done a lap. Oh no, not everyone. Only Hulkenberg, Piastri, and Albon are yet to do a lap. Although Albon and Piastri have both gone out there and done plenty of sighting laps, it seems, as has Alonso as well. Heard a rumour Gotifi is going to be the champ this year. In which series? Definitely not F1. Yeah, it's been interesting, isn't it, guys? It's been interesting to say the least. In regards to, in relation, shall we say, to rumours and tweets and so forth and news stories in the off season. It's mad now how obviously I mean, you got to pay the bills, I guess, at the end of the day, but the amount of content and stuff that's been put out there, just latching onto any sort of rumour, even if it's completely baseless and has come from an unbelievable source, is mad. But yeah, at the same time, I guess you got to pay the bills. But yeah, it's been interesting to watch. Gotifi in the Chinese F7. That's just normal F1 off season. Yeah. It's been funny seeing everyone draw squiggly lines over the cars over the last few days. Apparently everyone's now a technical wizard. That just makes me crack up. It's just like, do you really know what you're talking about? I think most of the time they're just talking out of their arse, and people just see that there's another way to get followers and that. So, hey Daddy, good to see you. Yeah, welcome. Thank you, mates. Yes, we're in for a good season. Right, I'm just gonna move everything over. Bear with me, guys. Bear with me. I want to be able to read chat on here. So, oh no, I mean to move it the other way. That's what I want to do. Go over there so that hopefully. Why can't I get my chat up? Still not allowing me. Open up my chat. Where's my chat? Shifting everything over. There we go. I can see my chat now on Streamlabs. That's better. That's better. I think everything's still aligned, isn't it? Yeah. Cool. Can't wait for the title fight between Mazepin and Checo. That's your favourite season of YouTube thumbnails. Yeah, it's been interesting. It's been interesting to witness, but at the moment, Jack doing fastest out there on the hard compound tyres. So yes, as Gamer mentioned, that the fastest lap last year at Bahrain was 1:32. So in that regard, we're not far already off of the fastest lap time from last year. These cars have got quicker and quicker every single year, around a second quicker. A lap quicker since the start of the regulations. So that's how much these teams have made in regards to development and progress over the last few seasons. So, morning Daisy. The Visa Cash App RB has made the best livery. I agree. Yeah, I do agree. I think that's the best livery by far. Who do I think will win the World Constructors Championship this year? Ooh, who I think will win it? You're going to have to wait and find out for I'm going to tease you guys. I have got my predictions video going up later on this evening. So I just need to, yeah, put that together for you. I don't want to give you any spoilers, and we can discuss it. We'll be back tomorrow and we're back Friday. You can watch it later on this evening. And yeah, we can then discuss it tomorrow. Oh, that wasn't a typo. That was generally the World Constructors Championship. Who's going to basically smash their car up the most? Oh, that's a good question. That is a good question. Who do I think? I mean, you have to look at who's always been pretty crashy. I don't think it'll be a rookie. I think Yuki might, you know, because as much as Yuki has a lot of good performances, he's going to have lots of highs this year, but I think he's going to have just as many lows. And I think he's going to end up just, I mean, also kind of maybe not giving too much of a fuss, shall we say, considering it's his last year with, considering it's his last year in Red Bull system. Lance Stroll's an easy one. Yeah, I think we can always kind of guarantee Lance Stroll will be up there. But yeah, I think if you look at recent times, Yuki has always had I don't think he's gone one season yet without a crash. If memory serves me right from the video that I did. So, hey Leo, good to see you. What part of the world am I in? The UK, you showed up. Probably tell from my accent. So, bro, I saw that Tom F1 put the Kick Sauber as the best livery this year. Did he really? Did he actually? That's a very bold statement from him to do that. Very bold statement. Move that. I mean, I saw some of his predictions, and I think I don't know what he's been drinking. Some of his predictions haven't been. His predictions are predictions at the end of the day. But yeah, I haven't listened to his actual video and his reasons for his predictions, but some of them are questionable. But look, we're all entitled to our opinion. So it's a shame you Americans have to stay up till 1 AM to watch. Oof. Is it right in the middle of the night for you? I guess so. Yeah, even the afternoon session is going to be... Afternoon session might be morning time for you, just about. Just about. So, hey, Renvir, good to see you. Sauber's livery ain't great. Yeah, we discussed this when we did the watch along for the HP. I've already got... Hunter's mentioned HP, and we'll get onto that. But we mentioned it when we did the live watch along for the F175. I think... It needed more green at the back. I don't I quite like the way it blends in green to black, but it needed green from both ends of the car and then blend into black in the middle. That's personally how I would have liked to have seen it. And yeah, it feels like it's a bit lazy, especially when you see all the other. I mean, it was good. It was kind of quite refreshing to see at the start when it was the first one that was shown. But then when you see all the other cars, you're a bit like, yeah, they could have done more. So Ferrari usually has a livery, but Mercedes looks the best this year. You think? I think personally the RB car looks the best. I do. The Alpine, by the way, looks better on track. I'm watching it on camera right now. It looks better on track than it did at the O2 and via stills. So I don't not like the Alpine. I said this at the time. I don't not like it, but I don't like it at the same time. It's just like, meh, it's better than the other one that they had. Baskin Robbins, yeah. But it looks better on track. That blue really does shine nicely in the sunlight. 3:30 p.m. your side in Australia. Lovely. Perfect. It's not off for you. You're loving life at the start of the season, Wobbly. You've got testing now the next 3 days. Perfect timing for you. Then you've got, of course, your home race. Then we go to China. Then we go to Japan. Loving life for the start of the season. Well, your body clock is anyway. Indians watch practically every race till 1 a.m. Yeah, they're committed. They're committed. No complaints here. Nah, don't blame me, mate. Don't blame you. 1:02 p.m. Yeah, that's all right. Yeah, we'll be so. Start 7 a.m. here. We'll be live, of course. And now I've got everything set up. Bit of teething issues at the start. I didn't realise that I could get. Do you know what? I was even struggling. I was like, I'm going to take 3 days off. Let's get into the full swing of F1. And I still have absolutely no idea if the live data would work because I couldn't see a history of where the live data was. Normally on like multi-viewer and so forth, you can go back and look at the live data from previous races and previous seasons, and I couldn't do that for testing. But thankfully, this is absolutely brilliant. It's put such a smile on my face, and I'm looking forward to being with you guys the next few years. So, next few days and years. Can Max pull off another World Drivers' Championship? I don't want to give too much away without giving you guys my predictions, but the answer is yes. I think I think there's multiple drivers who can win the World Drivers' Championship. It just depends on if they're provided the car. That is the big question this season. Is because at the end of last year, while McLaren, of course, were consistently quick across the season, Ferrari, of course, were quick at the end of the year. In particular, Red Bull weren't quick, but in Max's hands, he was still getting results. What are we going to see this year? Ferrari have made some changes, quite some dramatic changes, actually. They've gone from a push rod to a pull rod suspension system, which is a big change. And suspension is a key part to how the ground effect era, for these ground effect era cars. Have Mercedes made any grounds? Don't know. They've always been chasing, really, the rest of the field throughout this regulation set after ballsing up with a no side pod concept. And then, well, you've got, is McLaren still going to be as consistently quick as last year? I just hope it's going to be a real close one. The FIA is really goofy right now. You know it's bad when you've got Team LH at Tifosi and the Orange Army United against you. And every single racing driver and every single rally driver. I don't know if you saw that, guys, in the off-season for F1. Not too recently, a World Rally driver got given a 10 grand fine for swearing in an interview. Straight after, I think, was he in the car or was it just after he got out of the car? So ultimately, his emotions are very high and he got fined. So the World Rally Championship is under the remit of the FIA and, well, yeah. They came out and released a statement, didn't they? So they're like, we're aligned with the GPDA. Max, this is a type after getting a swearing racing ban. I tell you what, I wouldn't surprise me if we saw some form of driver's strike this year, or a potential of a driver's strike being spoken about. It really wouldn't surprise me. Doing fastest lap is borderline race pace. Yeah, not too bad. Obviously, he's dropped back now, so he's doing some long runs. I mean, Jack Doohan fighting the losing battle already, isn't he? Unfortunately, Jack Doohan. Hopefully, he'll be able to dig deep and get something, but who knows how long he's going to have in that car. I mean, Colapinto is just waiting in the wings, isn't he? Like, it's just... they've just brought on an Argentinian sponsor as well, a major one, which is one of Colapinto's sponsors. You don't bring them on if you're not looking, if you're going to keep him in the reserve seat, are you? At the end of the day. The season will be a tale of two halves, I think, because of the clampdown on flexi wings in Barcelona coming up. Yes, and that's something that Christian Horner has said and been quite vocal about. He's not happy with. So apparently, I think it comes to Barcelona's the 8th race of this season, I think I saw. So I think they are... yeah, I mean, that's going to have potentially an impact on a few cars. McLaren have been a bit more coy about it, saying we're not going to be affected by it. But Red Bull have said that they will be. We'll see. And I haven't heard anything from Ferrari, I think. Did I see that James Vowles said... AEIOU. Said that he is confident Colapinto will return to Williams. Really? Oh, we have a yellow. Jack Doohan's gone off. We have our first yellow of the season. And Jack Doohan went off at in between turn 4 and 5 there. I wonder if that was an actual off, or if that was him just moving out of the way of Liam Lawson. We will see on the TV coverage very shortly. But remember, turn 4 is where track limits are enforced quite heavily in the race. So we do see drivers go off there quite a bit. Normally, snap of oversteer and a change in wind direction can really unsettle the car. And we will see if he went off for any valid reason. But let's just have a look. And I think, and they've gone to a replay at the exact moment Jack Doohan is approaching that corner. Great TV direction. Great TV direction. So, but Colapinto, yeah, has he said he's going back to... Is Vowles confident he's going to go back to Williams? I didn't hear him say that. I mean, he's signed with Alpine for 5 years. That's a long time. That is a long time. Who do I think will win the midfield battle? You've got Haas personally. Yeah, so without giving too much away, I'm not going to name names in regards to drivers, but I do think Haas are going to be strong again this year. I in my predictions, the little spoiler, yeah, they're definitely not down at the back of the grid, which I mistakenly did last year. I think they've got a good driver partnership of Ocon and Behrman. I think... yeah, Carlos Sainz will be there or thereabouts. I think he's really going to showcase himself this year, his talents. And yeah, I mean, it's going to be an intriguing one in the midfield. It really is, because I just think who's going to give up first. I think it really is going to be a season of just who's going to give up first in regards to developing and just caring about this season. Of course, for the midfield teams, it's probably a bit more of an important season for them because of the money that is on offer in regards to constructors. But then, do they want... It kind of depends on what they care more about. Do they care more about the money, the prize money from the constructors, or the wind tunnel time? So, we'll see. We'll see. Am I going to post predictions after testing's complete? I'm going to post predictions tonight. I filmed my predictions before testing because I didn't want testing to influence them at all, and I wanted to go based off of the logic that I kind of believe from what I expect from the drivers and what I'm maybe predicting from the teams and the cars. So yeah, that'll be up this evening. Hopefully, I can put that together after testing finishes. How long does each testing session last, Ranveer? 4 hours. So there's an AM session, a PM session, with an hour's lunch break in between. So, yes, I'll be dipping straight off. Hey, Kaka! Happy 28 months. Thank you, buddy. Welcome, welcome. Guys, if you'd like to support this channel and my stream and help me do this full time, hit that like and subscribe button and bring us closer to 40k and join as a member as well. Junior, good to see you, buddy. Welcome, welcome. Total time, 8 hours per day. So a total of, maths is correct, 24 hours of track time. Really, well, testing time, not track time, because no car is going to be out there for every single minute. But yes, 24 hours of track time is available to the teams. Hey Raven, good to see you, mates. I think that Carlos and Alex will be very close at the start of the season, but as Carlos gets settled into the Williams car, he'll pull away. Yeah, there is a number of very intriguing inter-team battles to keep an eye out on this year. I'm really intrigued to see the Ocon and Behrman. I really do rate Ollie Behrman, and Ocon we know does get... he does collide with his teammates. I think he's got a 100% record of colliding with his teammates in F1. Will he keep that 100% record up with Ollie Behrman? We've also got the Sainz and Williams battle. I'm intrigued to see how Bortoletto will go against Nico Hülkenberg as well. Highly rated, back-to-back F3 and F2 champion. He's got a good benchmark in the form of Nico Hülkenberg. And then, Tsunoda and Hadjar. I'm intrigued to see how Hadjar does as well. Because if you think Tsunoda's got a potty mouth, wait until you hear Isaac Hadjar, although he may have to rein it in a bit. Maybe that's why Mohammed bin Sulayem has brought in the swearing rule, because he knew Hadjar was being brought into F1. Hamilton is not out on track just yet. No, not yet. He's done a few laps. He's come back into the pits. Actually, I haven't seen the TV coverage of Lewis Hamilton in that Ferrari yet, but never has a 40-year-old man looked so good, guys. Never has a 40-year-old man looked so good in red. But on that as well. I saw some people saying Oscar's going to beat Lando. I want to hear your thoughts, because I agree it's not improbable, but I think it's mostly just glaze. Yeah, I'm going to reserve my... I don't want to be a tease, but yeah, I'm just going to reserve my assessment on that. So, your F1 TV isn't working. It should be working. It's all working. Data is working fine for me. It is working fine for me. Was that not Photoshop, noob? I thought that MILF top was Photoshop. I thought someone had put that on his top. Was that a genuine top? Man, I love Ferrari. That was actually real, was it? Hey, Alan. Quick video idea because I saw it from other sim racing creators. Yeah, go for it, mate. I'm always here for ideas. It's still weird seeing Hamilton in a Ferrari, but I guess it will fit in a few months. I've kind of become accustomed to it already, to be fair. I think he looks good in it, so. 5 accessories under 50 euros. Maybe, Aiden. I don't think I've got an accessory that's under 50 euros, though. That's the problem. And I think that's kind of been done a lot. I appreciate the idea. I think that's been done quite a few times, though, isn't it? I mean, how many accessories can you truly put out and recommend? I don't think unfortunately I'd provide any value, because I don't think there's anything else that I could suggest that hasn't already been suggested. But appreciate the idea though, man. Keep them coming. You don't think that was real? That's what I thought. I thought it was photoshopped. It looked like someone had just gone into word art and slapped it on his t-shirt. But hey ho. Tsunoda doing a fast lap, is he? Let's have a look. Tsunoda. He is. Tsunoda's doing a purple here. So he's on the medium compound tyres. Unfortunately, we don't know the exact level of compound that they are using. So if you go onto Pirelli's website, guys, they do have... Twitter page, they do have... well, actually, I posted it in the Discord. If you're not in the Discord, it's a good time to plug the Discord. Let's go up here. I have posted what they have got compound wise available. So they've basically got every single compound available to them this weekend, and the teams have brought a lot of C3s. So the mediums are C3s and C4s. C1, the hards are C1 or C2. There's only a couple of soft tires. Williams and Ferrari are the only teams to have brought a soft tyre with them this 3 days. So that's quite intriguing. That is quite intriguing. But I guess Bahrain has never really been a tyre that there's never really been a track that uses a soft tyre. Oh, we have colour. We have colour. Beautiful colours there of the drivers. Just waiting for the track map now. Just waiting for the track map to have some colour added to it on these icons. But yes, beautiful. I thought my eyesight was going. I was going colourblind just seeing all those black and greys. Do I reckon Colapinto will be in after Miami? Is that the 5th race? How many races is that in? The rumour is, Adan, that it's 5 or 6 races that Doohan has in his contract. But until he's able to then be removed. So, yeah, I suspect 5 races. If Miami is the 5th race, then probably. Lewis Hamilton in red. Yeah, that does feel a bit weird now, actually. Seeing the name of Hamilton in red and not the turquoise or teal of the Mercedes is a bit odd. But yeah. C6s, yeah. C6s, yeah. So quite a soft tyre. So that's probably why they've not brought it, because it is a very soft compound tyre. Very, very soft for a track like Bahrain, where the deg is quite high. It's quite an abrasive circuit, Bahrain. So, who do I think will have the fastest lap, team or driver? Overall this week, I think... I was going to say McLaren, but McLaren do like to sandbag. They did that in practice a lot last year. So I don't think they're going to show their hand too much in testing this week. It wouldn't surprise me if you see Verstappen do it. It really wouldn't surprise me if he just goes out there and just goes, I just want to set a fast lap. Especially if he's not feeling too comfortable in the car. As Fernando Alonso sets the fastest lap we have seen thus far. Nearly an hour into testing for 2025. And he sets a 33.0. So, don't know what tyre that's on, but I presume that is on a medium or a hard. I think he's on a medium set, so... And what Force of Williams and Ferrari taking a set of super softs? Oh, sorry, that's what the question was. Yeah, I guess I just want to gather some data on it, really. Even if it's just a few laps, just to gather some data in regards to how the tyre performs. And then they've got some form of data across every single compound of tyre. So, yeah. So that they're not going in to a race weekend where that compound of tyre will be used, completely in the unknown. So, yeah, I'm surprised not every team has brought it, but... Aston Glory runs already. Yeah, we know Alonso likes to do them. We know he likes to do them. So you miss Carlos in red. I know. Carlos Sainz down there in the Williams blue. Esteban Ocon in the grey. His colour hasn't changed because he's still in grey. In the Haas. Who else has moved? Of course, we've got Bortoletto in P13. Obviously, yet to go out probably this afternoon. Liam Lawson in the harsher blue, shall we say, of the Red Bull. In P7 there, doing some hard compound tyre runs. Comparing day 3 times with Q3 2024 will be interesting. Yes, yes. Why is Max not going out? So, yes, if you're unfamiliar with testing, ladies and gentlemen, the reason why a number of the drivers are yet to go out is because we have an AM and a PM session, so morning and afternoon, 4 hours apiece. And how the test runs normally work is that one driver will do the morning session and another will do the afternoon. However, sometimes one driver will do one day, then the other driver will do the second day, and then they might split it on the Friday. So, yeah, different run plans for different teams, but mostly I think a common sense one is that they split it in a day, but we'll see. I don't know exactly what the run plan is of Red Bull, or any of the teams actually, in regards to who's appearing in what car, but we will see. Still waiting for driver track map colours. Need pink, blue, Alpine, white, yellow V-carb. Yeah. Ayaka, thank you for the sub, buddy. Much appreciated. Membership, buddy. Much appreciated. Thank you. F1 is back. It is. Great to see F1 cars out on the circuit. Great to see them. Oh, Nico Hulkenberg had a big snap mid-corner. Ooh. How do we think Hulk's going to get on this year, moving from Stake F1? What do we think about Hulkenberg's move? What do we think about it? Do we think it's a good move? Do we think it's a bad move? Should he have stayed at Haas? What's your thoughts and opinions on it, chat? Hey, Settle. No more Perez or Bottas or Magnussen in the timing sheets. They had their day. We may see Bottas later on in the season if there's an injury, if there's an illness and one of the Mercedes drivers can't compete, then Bottas is a reserve driver. So, do I think Lando Norris is going to win this season? I'm going to tease you and you're going to have to wait and see for my predictions later on. Unsurprisingly, he is at the top of, or towards the top. He's not actually at the top. He's like towards the top of my standings, my prediction. So you'll have to tune in for those and see what my reasonings are. I think there's a number of drivers that can win this year. I really do. It all depends on the car. It really does. There's a number of drivers there that have the talent. So Audi needs a German driver. Yeah. The move to Sauber doesn't make sense at first, but with Sauber coming Audi, it could be strong long term. Yeah, I think that's what he's probably doing. And that's probably what he's doing, isn't he? Varsh, good to see you, mate. I'm going very well. Surprisingly awake. Surprisingly awake. What is the time? 7:52 here in the UK. How do I think Cadillac's going to perform in 2026? Oh, how long's a piece of string? Who knows? That is the... I don't think any team knows how they're going to relatively perform next year. It's going to, as long as Caddy don't get absolutely trounced, they're at the back of the grid. I think that back of the pack. I think that'll be a positive for them. At the end of the day, they need to join and just ensure that they're at least fighting in the midfield. I think it's a very, very tall order and unreasonable to expect even in like a brand like Cadillac to come into F1 and compete for the top spots or the podium positions. But yeah, who knows? Stranger things have happened in F1. You was at the O2 for the reveal of the cars? Oh, nice one. How was that event? What, for being there in person? How was it? It'll be interesting to see how Lawson will adapt to Red Bull's atmosphere and to deal with Max Verstappen. Maybe he would see a bit of Hamilton versus Robert type battle this season. Yeah, I think Verstappen, I don't think anyone's under the impression that Verstappen won't beat Lawson or that Lawson would beat Verstappen, whichever way you want to look at it. But yeah, I don't think Lawson is going to be that far off the pace of Verstappen. I really don't. I at least compared relative to other teammates. I think Lawson is probably the best of those. I really do highly rate Lawson. I'm intrigued to see how he gets on this year and handles it. And he's no pushover either. He's got quite a bit of a bite about him. And it'd be interesting to see if he goes side by side with Max a couple of times this year, which could happen. Could happen. Just want Canny to put their NMDH engine in their car. It'll be slow as hell, but at least it would sound like freedom. Speaking of NMDH cars, have you heard the Aston Martin hypercar? Oh my god. Oh my god. Eargasm. Eargasm. I think my real life racing channel in Discord is basically dedicated to that car. It's like brilliant. 11 teams doesn't sound good. They should really add another team. Maybe it's time for Japan to go back to F1. Oh, well, you know what I think, Raven? I think Toyota's going to buy. I think Toyota is going to eventually purchase Haas. I really do. Lawson up into P2. A 10th off of Fernando Alonso on the hard compound tyre as well. So Lawson setting in some good laps. Finally, able to see Lawson start a season from the beginning rather than joining towards the back end and doing a few races and then dipping off again. Would be a good battle. Yes, it would be. 11 teams. Japan. So going back to Haas. Yeah, so if you're unaware, Toyota have rejoined F1 in the form of a technical partnership with the Haas F1 team. And probably seeing how difficult it has been for Cadillac to join, or Andretti to join as an 11th team in F1. And for it to be, it's probably more viable, financially viable for them to buy a team than it would be to start up their own team again, because you'd need your whole... Obviously, they're very, very big Toyota in regards to their motorsport side of things. But F1 is a different kettle of fish. Haas already have the facilities. They already have the infrastructure in place. And, yeah, buying them would make more sense. And apparently Toyota have gauged their interest in rejoining full-time in F1, and I think Haas F1, I think if the offer was put in, I think Gene Haas in particular would sell up in an instant. So, and it wouldn't be for cheap, but it'd still be cheaper than just starting from scratch. In a form of a Honda Works team, yeah, I just don't think Honda's going to rejoin again as a Works team. I mean, they're providing engines to Aston, aren't they? So I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. Also, the fact that Caddy is still in the American F1 team, Gene won't want to stay in anymore. We'll see. We'll see. Bring back V10s. Okay, yeah. Crazy Rule said 2025 will be our last year with the 2022 regulation cars. Yeah, and it's too soon, really, isn't it? It's too soon. I mean, I'm looking forward as Alex Albon goes fastest in the first sector of anyone, by the way, at 29.686. That's a tenth faster than Yuki Tsunoda. Let's see if he's able to improve there. He's third fastest in the second sector. And only a couple of corners left to go. Technically, turn 14 is the one corner. I don't know why there's 15 is considered a corner, to be honest with you. But let's see what lap time Alex Albon does on a set of mediums. Surely our first time in the 32s. And it is a 32.862 for Alex Albon in the Williams. Yes, it's a shame, really, that we don't have more years of this regulation set. 2026, I'm still surprised we're going ahead with it. I really thought the regs would be pushed back a year. We have, I think, every single change in regulation over the past like 20 years, 30 years, I think has always been delayed by at least a year. So I'm surprised that with the supposed issues with the design of these cars, but that hasn't been pushed back. But I guess obviously they're cracking on with it. So yeah, we'll see. It could be 2026 could be more of a crazier season than what we saw last year. I mean, who knows? It could be I think it's going to be a real interesting one to watch and just be totally unpredictable. I mean, good luck predicting 2026. Hey, Brad, just got back from an exam and very glad you could watch my streams again. Thank you, buddy. Good to see you. Welcome. Yes, we're going to be here this afternoon and the remaining 2 days. I took time off work for this, guys. So please hit that like button and get this stream to over 100 likes. That'd be much appreciated. Genuine question. Can MBS be fired or something? No, he cannot. The only way MBS can be taken out of the FIA is if he steps down himself, which we know isn't going to happen, or he gets voted out when it comes to the elections in the FIA, which is happening this year. But there hasn't been any... hasn't really been... I haven't seen anything or any reports of anyone who's going to be opposing him. If no one opposes him, then he will remain FIA president for another 4 years. But no, basically, he won't. That he's removed any sort of formal process for him to be removed. Literally, like he has just changed a number of rules in the FIA over the past few months. It means he's basically a dictator. He's given himself more power. So that's why, obviously, we've been seeing these ridiculous rulings pop in recently. So 2026 is going to be cooked, yeah. Like last year's race, par was around 135, 136. Okay, cool. You're betting on Aston Martin for 2026 just because they have Adrian Newey. Yeah, I mean, look, that's definitely going to be a help. You'd rather have Newey than not have Newey. But it's not really an aero-driven regulation change. It's more so an engine power unit change. Of course, you still need a good aero package. You still need a good chassis to utilise that engine. As Lewis Hamilton, for the first time in his Ferrari career, is at the top of the timing screens with the fastest lap in testing thus far, just over the hour mark with a 132.6. Doesn't that look good, ladies and gentlemen? Doesn't that look good, seeing the red of Lewis Hamilton, one against his name with a purple lap. Mwah, beautiful, beautiful. take a picture, hang it up on the wall, frame it, because who knows if we'll see that again. Beautiful, beautiful. Stop the count, Mike. Stop the count. Ayaka, thank you for the 40. Is that 40 dirham? Is that dirham? Apologies, I don't know that currency symbol. Miss Carlos on red, you want Max to dominate again. Yeah, I think many will be sad to see Carlos not in red. But, of course, Max Verstappen, the question is, will he have the car? We know he's still... It's a rupee. Apologies. Thank you for the 40 rupees. Much appreciated. I don't know what that equates to English pounds, but thank you regardless. Yeah, Verstappen... We know he's going to be there. I'm so intrigued to see how the Verstappen dynamic is going to work this year, particularly with Red Bull. Like if that car can't win races, if he can't fight for a world championship, we could see Mad Max this year, and we could start to see the breakdown in the relationship with Red Bull. That's going to be... There's so many different dynamics to keep an eye out on this year, guys. Even more so than just... the World Drivers' Championship. Vettel in place of MBS. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, we just need an FIA president who's just not seen. Like, he's just an attention seeker. He just wants to be the centre of attention all the time. Oh, Lewis Hamilton's just disappeared, but his icon is moving. So I don't know why it says he's stopped. Lewis hasn't stopped. He is still moving as his icon on track, which has just gone very transparent. So, yeah, Hamilton is blinking. There we go. He's back. He's blinking. Just like a racing iRacing. First and last time we'll see that, Adrian. Oh, hide. Hide from the Lewis Hamilton fans now. Save yourself before they come for you. What are the grille things attached to the side of Hamilton's car? So those are... sensors. They're aero sensors. So what they do is that... Oh, hang on. There was a reason why Lewis Hamilton went off. Hang on. No, he didn't go off. He's just watching his fast lap. That Ferrari just looks so much more comfortable than the Mercedes. Like, he's actually turning the car and it wants to go where he wants it to. Looks good from the onboard. Looks good. Just high ping. What was I saying in regards to the grills on the side of Lewis Hamilton's car? So what they are, those are aero sensors. So what they do, they put them on the car and it analyzes the airflow over the car, over those parts. So that's what they're doing. Really fancy F1 tech stuff. And the less techie stuff is when they put the green paint on, the FlowVis paint, so that it shows the flow of air through certain parts of the car, mostly over the rear wing and the side pods. Why is Max still on the sim? Why is he not on track yet? He's most definitely still on the sim, isn't he? I'll see if I can find the run plans, guys, for F1 for this weekend. We'll see. See. See if we can find it, and obviously we'll be keeping an eye out on the news websites to see if there's any relevant info that comes out from these testing. Let's see. Okay, what I've got is the morning schedule, so they don't really announce it by the looks of it until the afternoon. So we'll see. McLaren are adamant on not showing us the time. 1 hour and still not a full lap. Yeah. I wonder what they are doing. McLaren. They were very coy last year. This is very much kind of their MO, McLaren, because last year they very rarely showed their hand in practice. They held the pace back. You could kind of tell where or thereabouts they were in regards to their long runs. But they very rarely went out there and set a quali lap that was going to put them on. Well, they would have set a quali lap that would put them at the top of the timing sheets, but they then backed out of it. They'd normally go out, they'd do a fast first sector, fast second sector, and then they'd back out of the last sector, really trying to keep it, try and keep the teams guessing. I don't really think that works so much, especially when it comes to qualifying, or when you're finishing the practice session, go into qualifying. Of course, there's still setup changes that can be made before Parc Ferme in qualifying the next day. The same day. But yeah, we'll see. Lewis Hamilton, only man out on track at the moment. Not a fan of these grey driver markers. Yeah, I don't know why it's happened. They are apparently it is coming from F1, so not sure exactly why. What's on Instagram, Raven? What, the run plans? Oh, Jesus, why'd that come out? My track map is colourful. Don't know why mine is. Really? Should I try reloading it? Lewis is the only one out on track at the moment, isn't he? So, it's colourful now. There we go. Just turn it on. Just turn it on and off again, guys. That's all you need to do. Plans on doing Rebel Racing in SF this week. Your SR is already 1 point. Yeah, don't worry, mate. I'll be joining you soon. Yeah, I'll get a couple of races in this week, Taco. Hopefully more so this weekend than during the week, because I'm streaming all throughout the day. I have said to the missus that you need to treat this while I'm at home. You need to treat this that I am, in effect, at work. So, but yes, baby Stuffeyy is doing very well, and I will probably have to attend to her at some point today. The missus wants to go out and get her nails done, so yeah. Wait, I'm the right way round. Yeah, that's because I've flipped the image. Wizardry, Mike. Wizardry. It's really awkward having to look up to the right-hand side for the first time in like 5 years. I've spent so long. You'll see in my last race in the Super Formula on iRacing, but I still looked up to the left a few times rather than to the right to talk to the camera. So, in my opinion, which rookie do I think will do the best saying the track is a daycare now? Well, it depends on how you... So what I'm going to do in regards to rookies, I'm not going to say they're going to do the best because they're in a faster car, because ultimately with Lawson and Antonelli are going to finish higher up in the standings than what Bortoletto will do, Jack Doohan, and Ollie Bearman, because they're just not going to be fighting for podiums, those three. Whereas Lawson and Antonelli are in cars that they should be able to do so. But I think overall, and this isn't without spoiling my predictions, but I think in relative terms to the car that they've got and probably where they'll finish compared to their teammate, I think Ollie Bearman. He's still technically a rookie. He's done 3 races. You need to participate in 6 races to no longer be considered a rookie. I think Ollie Bearman, in relative terms to the car that he's in, fighting against Ocon, I think he's really going to take it to Ocon this year. I think it's going to be such an intriguing battle, inter-team battle to keep an eye out on. And yeah, I think while Interlagos is the outlier because of just how tricky the conditions were, I think what we saw from him in that Ferrari last year in Saudi on short notice, and then what we saw from him in Haas at Baku, I think was super impressive. So yeah, looking forward to it. And Jack only gets 5 races as well. Yeah. So is McLaren looking good? Have no idea, because they've not done a single lap yet. The only team out there yet to do a single lap. You can tell Lewis is comfortable because he just wants to get out there and do some runs, do some laps, put some lap time in. So he's the only driver out there at the moment getting some nice airtime. Oh, the HP logo and the white stripe just stings my eyes, though. stings my eyes, the amount of HP logos on that car. So after 6 races, we can stop and call a rookie of the year. Technically speaking, that's what the FIA label a rookie. Yeah, it's only like until you've completed 6 races. But I guess I still consider Lawson a rookie. I kind of go if you haven't done a whole season as an F1 driver, you should be considered a rookie still, in my opinion. That's just me. So yeah, I still kind of consider Lawson a rookie because he's only done... I mean, he's done like, what, 10 races in total? But he did those over the space of 2 years. I mean, that's... I wouldn't call him a seasoned driver, would you? That's me personally, so... Sauce may be used for PM testing to simulate quality conditions. I don't know. They've only got a couple of... Oh, purple... Was that a purple lap again? No, that was... last lap was 1:33.5, but with a purple last sector for Lewis Hamilton. That's interesting. They've removed the sensors from Lewis Hamilton's car. And I must admit, I'm looking at the onboard now of Lewis Hamilton. And... it looks good. It looks good. With that Mercedes, he was fighting the rear of the car so often, wasn't he? But it looks comfortable. It looks kind of effortless at the moment from first glance in just what I'm seeing with his onboards. But we'll see. Hey, Ramp! I don't find it that bad. Maybe it will grow on us throughout the season. I hope not. Yes, sorry. In regards to soft compound tyres, I don't think we'll see them so much because, as I mentioned, they've only brought... there's only 2 teams that have brought soft compound tyres. That's Williams and Ferrari. And they've only got 1 set of each, I believe, of the 2 compounds that are considered softs, the C5s and C6s. So, when does the first race start? On the 28th. No, the first race is the weekend of the 14th. Just a few weeks from now, pretty much. So yeah, it's like the middle of March, and it's Australia. Hey, Lee. Sometimes you go back to watching the W11 onboards to remind myself what Lewis could do in a compliant car. Yeah, that thing, that lap at Spa where he's full throttle, flat out through Puon, so the downhill left-hander. Oh, like a thing of beauty. Like if you really want to see what an F1 car can do in peak trim performance, watch that lap at Spa. Like, it's so reactive as well. Like, it's ridiculous. Just a little flick of the wheel and the car just goes exactly where he wants to. It must have been unbelievable to drive. You heard there's a new compound tyre. Is C6 a new compound tyre? Is the C6 a new compound tyre? Let's have a check. Did we only have 5 compounds last year? C6. Just looking now. Yes, Yes, the C6 is a new ultra-soft compound, which is expected to be used at certain street circuits, with drivers sampling it during a special practice session at last year's Mexico City and Abu Dhabi post-tests. So, that means that, if I'm looking at this graph here, so Ferrari have bought a C6, as has Williams. And then they've also bought one of a C5 each as well. So they're the only 2 teams that have brought a set of softs with them. So yeah, I didn't know that. See, there's something there every day. The C6 is a brand new compound tyre. That is intriguing. They've basically brought the Ultra Soft back for street races. I like it. Hey Pierre, ciao. Hola. Monaco special tyre. Yeah, I think that's what it's been designed for, isn't it, really? Is Monaco in mind. Of course, mandatory pit stops now are going to be introduced, aren't they, in Monaco? So, 2017, here we go. Remember the pink Ultra Soft? Is It's a pink tyre. It is basically a pink tyre, except it won't be. It will still be a red tyre. That's just used at, street circuits. So I think Monaco needs to be a one-shot quali as well. Yeah, I think so. I think Monaco... does it need to be a one-shot quali? I mean, I think so, yeah. I think it does. I think you just have to make Monaco very special. Yeah, very different to what it is elsewhere. I mean, I'm not against a double pit. I'm not against pit stops. More pit stops. Because if we do... Because, I mean, I guess it's in reaction to what we saw last year, where we had that big crash and that red flag earlier on. And then, of course, the tyres were able to go for a whole duration of a race. And that meant that with the red flag rule of them being able to change tyres, they didn't make a single pit stop, which is a real shame, because that's the only thing really to look forward to at Monaco, with how difficult it is to pass, or non-existent it is to pass, especially in the current F1 cars. So, yeah, combined with the new ultra soft tyre, which should degrade more, and mandatory pit stops, more mandatory pit stops. I mean, I still don't think Monaco will be interesting as a race to watch, but it'll be better. It'll be better. It'll at least keep us intrigued in regards to where cars are out on track. And yeah, I mean, there'll be more emphasis on the strategy element and track position, more so than what there has been in the past. Did a race in supercars. I'd pay to see people race in the 1950s, the 2000s, yeah. What's my take on banning the swear banning? I think it's a stupid decision. Yeah, I mean, it's been spoken about to death. Really, look. I agree that you should watch your tongue in interviews, specifically when you're doing like the press conferences, when you're doing like way after the race has been conducted, and you're being interviewed by the media. Like, I think that should be. But I think that's not unreasonable to ask. Look, you're in a professional environment. There isn't any adrenaline running through your veins right now. Like, it's just tone it down. Please don't. But if there's a slip of the tongue, fair enough, because English isn't a lot of drivers' first languages. I get that. I don't agree with if you stick a microphone in their face straight after the car. I don't agree that should be penalised, because adrenaline's very high. Why they're going to say some things that maybe they wouldn't if they were able to calm down. And then I don't agree about penalising them for radio messages as well. So yeah, I just think ultimately at the end of the day, why are you trying to die on this hill? Surely there's better things to be focusing on in the FIA, like actually getting competent stewards, actually setting up a coaching system to get competent stewards and have an actual managing body of stewards, professional body that's set up for this, so that we have professional stewards rather than just former drivers who feel like they want to give it a shot, and have permanent stewards as well to ensure that the fairness of the sport is managed correctly and we get some form of consistency as fans, as drivers, as teams. Like, that's more so where I'd be putting my focus into, rather than dying on this hill of pissing off the drivers and saying you're going to get a ban for swearing. Like, for saying a naughty word when you're driving at 200 miles an hour. Like, but yeah. What about Yuki? Well, yeah, Yuki's not, like, it's not his first language. It's not his first language. And look, people have, it's also the good thing as well, is that when you learn a new language, not that I have, but I've been told, but when you learn a new language, some of the first words that you pick up are slang words, are swear words, because that's what people use on a daily basis in their language. And especially in the UK, we use a lot of swear words in our daily life, and that's what Yuki would have picked up first and foremost after coming to England and not knowing the language. So yeah, I think as he's got older, he should have toned it down a bit more, which I think he has. But yeah, there's also like that as well, and it's just, yeah, just don't die on that hill. At the end of the day, if I swore in front of my employers' customers, I would get fired. They should be able to control that, and I don't disagree. Extric, yeah, I think in the environment where you're in press conferences, and there's no, like, you haven't just come out the car, as let's applaud McLaren, because they've now actually set a lap time. Well done, McLaren. They've actually now set an official lap. Oscar Piastri there with a 34.2 as Liam Lawson goes fastest in the first sector. But yes. Going back to it, yeah, I don't disagree to an extent. Like, there's in a professional environment when you're doing press conferences and stuff like that, yeah, you should be able to keep a hold of your language and not say naughty words. But when you just come out the car and they're being interviewed, like, on the podium and so forth, and emotions are still high, adrenaline's still pumping, I don't think that should be the case. So, do I think there'll be any returns? What do you mean in returns? Do I think the V10s return in 2026? No, V10s aren't returning in 2026, no. In the future, maybe, but as Liam Lawson is on a fast lap here, guys. Purple in the second sector as well. Hard compound tyre for Liam Lawson. It could be the C1 or it could be the C2. Let's see what he does here. Liam Lawson wanting to set a marker down in his first session in a Red Bull car, a Red Bull driver, and he does a 32 flat. 6 tenths faster than Lewis Hamilton did earlier. And, well, that's quick. That's quick for a test time. Just shows how much quicker these cars have got over the years. Yeah, no, I agree, Jordan. I don't think it's that deep at the end of the day. So, Max being Dutch, they swear worse than Aussies. Oh, do I think there'll be any return of drivers coming back? I hope not. With respect, I don't mind maybe a cameo from Bottas for a one-off race or something. But I know there's been talks of, I mean, this is how quiet obviously the off season has been. Is that I've seen people comment that Vettel is interested in coming back to F1. It's like no. Like, look, let's just move on. Vettel retired. He's in his mid to late 30s now. Let's just look at the youth. Let's look at bringing young, exciting drivers back in up into the sport to freshen up the grid, rather than, with respect, drivers who just want to come back. Like, if you was maybe at the height of your career and then you wanted to come back after going to do something else, fair enough. But Vettel isn't that. Magnussen wasn't that. Perez wasn't that. I mean, let's be honest, Perez will only come back to F1 because of the money. There's talks and rumours about him joining Cadillac, which I can see, because he will bring some experience to the team, but he's not going to get you. He's not going to get your podiums and drag you up the grid, which is where you want to be. They'll just be looking at that for money. So, if Lawson does bad, do you believe Ricciardo could return? No. Ricciardo's had his time. Let's move on. from Ricciardo and the others. Like, that's why I think this year is going to be really exciting as well, is that we've got a number of rookies on the grid, and the great thing is about having more rookies is that they do not give a flying F. They want to prove themselves. They don't care if you're a 7-time world champion or 4-time world champion. If they get an opportunity to go for a late lunge and make an overtake on you, they're going to go for it. Kimi Antonelli is going to ruffle a lot of feathers this season. I can see it now. That lad goes for moves that other drivers don't think of, because he's young and fearless and quick. And I'm here for it. Liam Lawson as well. But, yeah, really looking forward to it. Antonelli will star once or twice on track and into side pods. Oh yeah, I can see Antonelli colliding with Verstappen more than once this season. As Hulkenberg goes fastest in the first sector. Hulkenberg in the Stake F1 car. Can we just say, by the way, if you're Nico Hulkenberg, it will be an absolute travesty if he does not have a literal Hulk helmet. A green Hulk helmet this season. He has to do it, please. Please, someone in his camp, tell him have a green Hulk helmet at once this season. I'm surprised he hasn't got it already, to be honest with you. Because he's in a green... His name's Hulkenberg. He's called the Hulk. And he's in a green car. And a green F1 car. Don't let me down on this season, Hulkenberg. But yes, he is green in the middle sector. Second fastest. He was 3 temps down on Lawson in that first sector. So there's a difference in the cornering ability there in that middle sector shown by Liam Lawson in that Red Bull compared to the Stake F1. And yeah, that was the difference in the end. Difference in the end there, really. He was a bit slower, 10th in the last sector. Of course, on the mediums as well. Which says a lot, doesn't it? On the mediums as well. And still considerably slower than Liam Lawson. But I don't think anyone has any assumptions that Stake F1 will be fighting Red Bulls this season. The sends he made on me at Silverstone were absurd. What about the one... Hey, Georgine, what about the one he made on me at Hungaroring? The one which he crashed into me. And he spun twice, by the way, trying to overtake me because of my great defense. But he used that exact move, didn't he? In that same section, on that same corner that he crashed into me. He made that exact move to win the F2 feature race at the track. So... the amount of comments of people going, did you see he did exactly to you what he did to whoever it was in the F2 race? But I was like, yeah, but he didn't crash into them. Come on, the Flying Kiwi. Yeah, he can't. I don't think FIA will death sentence him. Where's the track? So testing is at Bahrain, as you can see from the flag at the top left-hand corner of your screen. So yes, testing is in Bahrain. We have 3 days here, 2 sessions a day, 4 hours in the morning, 4 hours in the afternoon, and we'll be live for every single one of them. Hey Maria, good to see you. Soccer, welcome. Yeah, welcome everyone. Hope you're doing well. Hope your Wednesday is treating you well wherever you are in the world. If you've got any questions, please let us know. Over the next couple of days, I am hoping to get a couple of guests on from the Missed Apex crew, Spanners, definitely, and maybe some others, so that we're not just chatting amongst ourselves, and you can ask them some questions as well. It should be some fun. Thank God F1 is back. The Xmas period is hell, I know. At first, the off-season was quite refreshing because it was a very long season. But then after about a month, I was like, oh, I want F1 again. I don't know, the FIA is pretty strict. They're going to ban breathing soon. Yeah. 8-hour streams for 3 days. I know. Well, I have taken time off of work to do this for you guys. Obviously, I still work full-time, a 8 to 5 job, so... yeah, this isn't the full-time career yet. Maybe one day we can make 8-hour streams a thing for full-time. But Liam Lawson, fastest in the second sector again, by the way. So it could be another purple for Liam Lawson if he's hooked up the last couple of corners. And it is a 31.9. Wow, already into the 31s. We're only an hour and a half into this session. So what do I do for work, Jordan? I'm a quantity surveyor. So I basically make sure that construction projects make money. I'm on the commercial side of construction. Look after the contracts. I tell subcontractors what they can and can't be paid, basically. And make sure, yeah, basically the project runs within budget. And we make money. It's good the teams, or are they bad this year? Too early to say, Maria. Too early to say, of course. Very early on. Testing, there's only so much that we can take into it. I will say that we're already quicker, I think, than what we saw in testing last year. I think someone did confirm that to us earlier on, but the fastest time we saw in testing last year was a 32, a low 32, and we're already under the 32 mark. And that's just an indication of these cars getting faster and faster each year. On average, they've got about a second, just over a second a lap quicker since 2022 when they were introduced. So Q1 fastest time, but qualifying runs are very different to what obviously race pace would be. Like you're not going to see a 29 on a hard compound tire, even on low fuel. So kind of interested in seeing how the cooling kits work. Yeah, that's it's interesting that they've introduced that, haven't they? Oh, nice one, Jordan. Yeah, it's more so for everyone else's benefit. Not everyone knows what a quantity surveyor is. You love my vids and my general takes on F1. Thank you. Agree a lot with my POV. Totally agree that we need new heroes and older guys need to make way now. Better for the health of the sport. Exactly. And look, it's healthy to disagree. I don't expect anyone to agree with every single one of my takes and my opinions. And I'm happy for you to disagree and let me know that you disagree, because that's what it's all about. Debate and discussion. I love it. Especially when it comes to F1. So that's how it should be. We're all entitled to our opinions. And we're all entitled to disagree with everyone's opinion. So, yeah, don't take everything I take as gospel. But, yeah, I always try and be I always try and base my opinions around logic, really. And what I've witnessed in F1 in the past and what I see and have assessed. So, yeah. Sonoda. Oh, fastest in the first sector for him. So is the track starting to ramp up a little bit now? Or is this just a case of them out on a new set of tyres? I mean, I guess it is the track he's going to ramp up, obviously, with the amount of laps. The track was probably quite green to start off with. And as the days go on, unless we get some rain, which I think there were forecasts, actually, some rain here this week, we should see the laps get quicker and quicker. Race fastest lap was a 1:32 by Max. Okay, cool. Thank you F1. So yes, that means that we are already quicker than what we saw in race pace last year. Verstappen is at FIA headquarters arguing about the new rules. Hey Kelvin, good to see you, mate. All the way from Kenya. What is that lap by Piastri? They're just sandbagging. Do not take into account. While obviously it's interesting to keep an eye out on lap times, guys. It's testing. Do not read too much into lap times. Yeah, you don't know what battery modes they're running. You don't know what fuel loads they're running. How the engine mode, which is a bit of a shame, but it's still good for us to have a look and intrigue. We can see patterns. That's the good thing, is that we can see patterns. I have the sector times here, and you'll be able to see as you watch the laps go on where drivers and teams will be particularly losing some time. Now, the thing is that they're going to be trying out different setups throughout the duration of this week as well, because Bahrain is a circuit that has, of course, some low... Well, you can really set the car up to be set up for proper low downforce because of the first and last sector, where there's lots of straights and only a couple of corners to contend with, or you can set the car up for quite low, high downforce because of the middle sector. So you're focusing more on your middle sector times and through the corner speed rather than the actual top speed. So yeah, that's why really with all these different variables that need to be taken into consideration, that's why when it comes to lap times in testing, you can't take them at face value. But no doubt many people will, as many did decide to say and shout from the rooftops. Lewis Hamilton was an eight tenths slower than Charles Leclerc when he was doing practice runs at their test track. I mean, Jesus, come on. Surely we're all a little bit more knowledgeable than that. But that doesn't get the clicks, does it, I guess? You're a poor guy from Brazil. Some unique channel to see F1 today. Thank you, Joga. You're playing F1 22 and watching this alongside. Well, I'm glad to provide this to you. Aston Martin taking 3 intermediates and halves with 1 inters and 1 wets. Rain on the radar tomorrow. Yeah, that's what I thought there potentially was. So let's have a look at the Bahrain race circuit weather. Let's just do a weather report for you, shall we? Yeah, tomorrow rain is forecast. Only 40% chance though. Precipitation is 40%. So there is potential of rain tomorrow. I mean, they have said it is kind of abnormally cold for this time of the year at Bahrain. 26.7. I mean, it's an air temperature of only 15 degrees. That's about 7 degrees less than what they normally see, is from what I read. 21 to 22 degrees is what I normally expect at this time of the year in Bahrain. So it's impressive that Lawson's done a 31.9 on hards and everyone behind on mediums. Yeah, no, it's a good stat. It's a good lap time to start off with for Lawson. on the hards. As we said, like the fastest lap last year that we saw race pace wise. Let's have a look at. Is there any? Can I see practice? So you can't go back and see practice. But yeah, the fastest lap last year was a 32.6 for Max Verstappen in race trim last year. Qualifying, which we've already mentioned, was a 29.1. So that's something, isn't it? That is really something. The fact of it. I'm seeing what we saw in practice. If we saw anything faster in practice, it'd been a bit difficult to see. But yeah, I mean, these cars are already quicker. They're getting quicker year on year out. So it's just a shame, really, that we're coming to the end of this regulation set, isn't it? Thanks, Ranveer. Barcelona ideal track, but still prefer Silverstone. Well, I think that the idea of us coming to Bahrain, of course, is one, the amount of money that Bahrain paid F1 to host testing and to be the first racetrack of the season. It's around 40-50 million. I think it's the longest contract in F1 Bahrain they have secured for testing and being the first race of the season. I think it goes on to 2032. Memory serves me right when they signed that. It was a 10-year contract. But also, I think the teams were quite on board with it because Barcelona would always see there was a trend of very low track temps for them, and the teams were complaining that it wasn't really that beneficial testing. So coming to Bahrain, for the most part, the air and track temperature is warmer than what we see at Barcelona. Although this year, it's not looking too pretty. I think we saw Barcelona in the past get down to like 5 degrees. I mean, literally, the teams and the drivers were wearing woolly hats and gloves, and you don't get that in Bahrain. So, oh, Yuki on a fastest first sector, by the way, guys. It's always exciting to see purples. Doesn't have a race view anywhere. No, we can't show the footage because of copyright reasons. So makes Yuki sometimes makes Yuki a little fruity. 5 degrees is shorts and tank top weather. What you on about? Yeah, well you live in Canada, so anything that doesn't have a minus against it, you're out there in swim shorts. Oh, slow middle sector there for Yuki Tsunoda. Slow middle sector. But Piastri and Behrman not doing... Setting time and screens alight at the moment. Ollie Behrman has done quite a few laps. Let's see if we can get... Can I add anything to this? I'll have a look at maybe adding some data afterwards to see if there's anything that's really kind of relevant. But I think everything's okay at the moment, so... The story Liam told about Yuki swerving towards him and writing off his car was wild. Yeah, I know. Well, that was exactly what he did to Daniel Ricciardo. So if anyone's not aware, Yuki Tsunoda had this thing that he would tease Liam Lawson after a race, and he would basically, on the cool-down lap, like come in really close and scare Liam Lawson with his car. I mean, absolute maniac behaviour as Alonso goes fastest in the middle sector. Alonso going for a fastest lap here, and yeah, one time he actually crashed into the side of him, but that's basically what Yuki did to, which makes sense because that's what Yuki did to Daniel Ricciardo, I guess, wasn't it? Oh, Alonso with a 31.8 on the medium compound tyre, so that really does show how good Liam Lawson's lap was. Even though we don't know fuel loads and so forth, I'm going to keep repeating it. Yeah, Liam Lawson's lap was pretty decent on a set of hard compound tyres. Used set of hards as well when he set that. A Canadian with a British English. Yeah, no, I'm fully from the UK. Antonelli on a fast lap, is he? Yeah, 30.3. I mean, he is on a fast lap, but it's like 8 tenths off of what Alonso just did. So not really too much there. Let's have a check on the top speed, shall we? Let's have a check on the top speeds. Speed trap. So I'll just pull this over here and I'll have a look for you guys. So at the moment, Lewis Hamilton is fastest in the first and second sector with top speeds, with 148 miles per hour in the first sector and 169 in the second. Through the speed trap is Alex Albon with 177 miles an hour and Hamilton 175. So that Ferrari looking quite pacey. Liam Lawson looking pacey as well. In only like a couple of miles an hour off. 1 mile an hour off everywhere, basically, compared to Lewis Hamilton. Well, the finish line actually is quicker, but that can be dependent on stuff. Right, hang on, where's that sector speed? There we go. Can you use kilometers instead of miles? No. I live in the UK. I don't do kilometers an hour. Sorry. Let me have a check what that is in kilometers an hour. I'll do a conversion for you. So it was 145 miles per hour to kilometers. So that's 90 kilometers an hour. No. So why am I doing? No, hang on. That's not right. Do it the other way around. That is 233 kilometers per hour through the first sector, and then across the finish line, 177, 284. Are us guys in pounds or kg in the UK? We're pounds. We're stones and pounds in the UK. Yeah, we do stones. So 14 pounds in a stone. We don't even do kg or pounds. So yeah. We are cooked, yeah, I know. yeah, we use stones and pounds. We're weird over here in the UK in that regard. No problem, just not used to miles yet. That's all right. Don't know. 1.609 kilometers in 1 mile. I was just about to say I don't know what is in 1 mile for kilometers, and there you go. How are you gaming? Yeah. I think the UK, I mean, who else uses miles per hour? I don't know what other country uses miles per hour. I think a lot of Europe uses it. No, Europe doesn't use, they use kilometers an hour, don't they? Really? So. Looks like F1 team is sandbagging. Yeah, I got that wrong. 90 kilometers an hour. Definitely not doing that. Maybe down the pit lane. But most of the world is kilometers an hour. Yeah. America is miles per hour. Okay, cool. Kimi's in a dark horse this season. Dude won Italian and German F4 the same season, followed by Formula Renault title. In Monza practice, Toto reportedly took the Ascari chicane faster than anyone. I know. That half a lap that he did at Monza was unbelievable. No one had ever seen such a thing before in a race car. Look, he's quick. He's definitely hyped, and I do think the hype is validated. He has a very good junior career, and I was impressed by what I saw in F2, especially in what was a difficult year for Prima as well, with the first time they were using those new regs or new cars. So yeah, I think I'm intrigued to see how he gets on, and I think he's going to be punchy this year. So I'm looking forward to it. I know you'll be happy if Alonso gets the 33rd win. I mean, I wouldn't be upset if Alonso won. It'd make for a great story, wouldn't it? You're sick of hearing about Antonelli, Jordan. Are you also... Is that because you're also a victim of being crashed into by Antonelli in iRacing? Join the club. Toto is his cheerleader, though. Helped his Lewis break up. Yes. Yeah. I mean, look, you're going to want to big up a driver, a young driver. You're not going to basically want to have a go at him for crashing, are you? You'd rather see him push the limits of the car, especially when he's so young. Thanks, Meridano. Much appreciated. Yes, guys, please continue to hit that like and subscribe button as always. And if you haven't already, why not decide to join as a member of the channel and further support myself. We're going to be bringing you every single race this year. Of course, I'll try and bring you every single practice session that I can. Normally, I miss the first practice session of a weekend because it's normally during working hours for me. But yeah, we try and make as many of those practice sessions as we can. But I'll be bringing you every single sprint race, every single qualifying, and every single race of this 24 calendar season, which we're hoping, and we're all hoping, is going to be a very, very good one. So it's doing goes quickest in the last sector there. Hey James, good to see you, mate. Me and Kimmy got vaporized in the same crash at Virginia over Christmas. You're just a friend of Lawson's, just want to hear about him. Well, mate, you'll be glad to hear I do wax lyrical about Lawson in my predictions video that's going to go up later on this evening. So, yeah. I really do like Lawson. I really do. I know we've discussed Lawson before on stream. I know we have. And, yeah, I think he's a super adaptable driver, and I think he's going to do very good things in that Red Bull. Obviously, everyone thinks it's a poison chalice, and I don't think anyone's under the impression that he's going to beat Max, because you don't just join a team like Red Bull, a team where Max, we know, is super quick, and that team is designed around him for obvious reasons. Why wouldn't you focus that team around Max Verstappen? But I do think he's super adaptable, and he's going to be able to handle that car better than anyone else who has come before him. You have a take your nice one, man. Hang on, you have that watch and you're struggling to watch F1. I appreciate you being here, but doesn't quite line up with what you said earlier, Joker. How is Lewis doing his new Ferrari car? He seems to be doing quite well. Yeah, he's getting plenty of laps in. From what I've seen from the onboards, it just looks more comfortable. It just looks more reliable in his hands than anything I saw in the Mercedes. There's obviously some mid-corner oversteer, it seems, a little bit, in regards to, like, I think that's more so in regards to, like, the tyre temps, really. But they're only slight. But the car just looks so much more comfortable. The car turns. It does what it wants him to do by the looks of it, so... Lawson has an early 2000s new metal sense of fashion too. He's also... I mean, what can Lawson not do, to be honest with you? Did you see his video of him playing guitar and singing? You not only can play guitar, but he can sing as well. Unbelievable. It's not fair. It's not fair. You can't have it all. Which rookie does have the best chance of beating his teammate this season? Behrman, Hadjar, Doohan. It's not Kimi or Liam. Oh, I think it's Behrman, to be honest with you. I think Hadjar could beat Yuki. I don't think many people expect him to beat Yuki, but I think out of all of them, probably Behrman, just from what I've seen, and because he's got experience in F1 already, and he beat Hulkenberg, and he did well in that F1. He did it well in the Ferrari, so yeah, not a lot of data to go upon, but yeah, I think Behrman's got the closest opportunity and the best opportunity of beating his teammate, and I'm intrigued to see how Ocon can handle what I think is going to be a good season by Behrman. What happened to my Lewis background? I know. So, contrary to what you're seeing right now, this image is flipped. I've switched the other side of the room because what you can't see is that this is now baby's room. So, yeah, we've the baby's coming in here very soon, and I've had to switch sides. So, yeah, I had to take stuff off the wall, and I've always had this Lewis Hamilton like canvas behind my rig on the wall, and I've had to take that off as well. So I've just put this here because I'm not allowed to kind of really put anything here. I'm under orders. So yeah, the Lewis Hamilton helmet is like hanging off of my sim rig. So yeah. I do know Sky will be streaming on YouTube though. All testing sessions shot. There's any free ones at all. I'm not sure. Are they? Are they on YouTube? I'm not sure if they are. Are they streaming it all? I don't know if they are or not, to be honest with you. I'm not sure. The oversteer is due to Augusta winning turn 10-11 as reported by Alex Brundle. Well, there we go. There we go. Yeah, streaming on YouTube right now, is it? Oh, okay. That is very odd of them to be streaming that. How nice of Sky to be streaming that live. That's not normally like them. I imagine you probably need a VPN to be able to watch it if you're in a different country. But why would you do that when you can sit here and you get the back and forth in chat between myself and you guys? So, sim over baby, bro. Don't worry, this isn't going anywhere. This sim rig. So, Mercedes gets a great car to track this year. I will be interested to see how George performs in a race-winning car. Till now, we never had a stable car that he can trust from track to track. Yeah, I mean, look, that's. I think Lawson and Antonelli can win races. I don't think they could probably do it for a whole season, understandably, because they're still rookies. I still consider Lawson a rookie. But I think any of those, any of the 6 drivers that I haven't mentioned in those top teams, I think if they're all given a car that can win a championship, I think they could do it. Like it's like my predictions are so close when you think about it. Like, I think it's gonna be really close this year. How's Luna taken to the new arrival? The cat? Yeah, she's absolutely fine. Not phased at all. Not phased at all. She's chill, thankfully. So, it's Geo block for you. Yeah. Surprise, surprise. Here's an impossible question. Best representation of a 2025 F1 car in sim racing right now? Oh, it'd be an AC mod. Yeah. In regards to 2025, it'd be an AC mod. It wouldn't be anything to do with iRacing because there's only the 2013. There's only the W13. So. But yeah, lap times, guys. So Alonso, as we are approaching the 2-hour mark, nearly the halfway mark in this first testing session, AM session. Alonso is P1 with a 31.8 set on the mediums. Lawson's lap time, though, is the most impressive because it was set on the hards. A sub 32 seconds, 4 attempts back from Alonso. As we've mentioned previously times, and this will be a disclaimer I repeat throughout this next few days, is that we do not know engine mode, battery mode. We don't know the setup they're running. We don't know the fuel load they're running. We don't know a heap of stuff that they're running, and that can all contribute to varying lap times. So yeah, but still, I think on a hard compound tyre to be sub 32 is good going for Lawson to start off this first ever session in a Red Bull. Lewis Hamilton in P3, a 32.0 from him. He looks looking a lot more comfortable in that Ferrari, as we've mentioned, than what we've seen him in the Mercedes. Tsunoda in P4, Albon P5, Doohan P6, Hulkenberg 7th, Antonelli 8th, Piastri 9th, and Behrman 10th. And yeah, Piastri not doing too many runs. Hasn't done too many laps, to be honest with you. Neither has Ollie Behrman, and neither has Antonelli. So, From South Africa, Ruin. None of our broadcasters showing F1 testing. I hope F1 will come back to South Africa again. Yeah, I think they will. I think that's what they're trying. Well, I say they will. They're trying to line up a race in Africa, and it's either going to be a South African race or a Rwandan race. Rwanda. Not sure how you pronounce it. Rwanda? So, yeah. Kia Lamy is your choice. Yeah, I think Kia Lamy is what they're trying to G up, but we'll see. Yeah, not sure about Rwanda. Considering they're right between fastest laps last year in quali and the race, no one's sandbagging. No, they will be sandbagging Electronica because the natural progression of development of these cars has been over a second a year per lap. So, yeah, the cars have just naturally got quicker. They find more grip, they find more performance, and yeah. I pronounced it correctly, right? Good. Grammar police aren't going to come for me. These times are close to what we saw in the evening sessions last year. Looks like the cars have found another 3 to 4 attempts this season, though that may change. Potentially. Yeah, potentially. But, yeah, it's great to see F1 cars out on track, as Antonelli is the only driver out there at the moment. And I'm just so glad this is all working, guys. I'm so glad it's all working and that we can provide this for you. It would be typical of F1 to go to Rwanda considering what's going on. I know, Campbell. I was a little bit surprised when that was muted, to be honest with you, and I heard discussions were happening about a Rwandan race. I am really surprised. I mean, things aren't great in South Africa either, I guess. But yeah, considering they've kind of gone through the rigmarole of trying to set up a race in South Africa previously, I would have thought that would have been easier to do. But let's be completely honest with you. It all comes down to this. Whoever gives them the most money is most likely going to get the opportunity. So, yeah, if South Africa... I think the South Africa one was not... I think it fell through because the promoters couldn't front up the money that was promised to host the race. And that's why it fell through. So maybe that's why they're exploring other avenues. They still don't truly trust that circuit to be able to host a race and live up to their side of the bargain, or hold up their side of the bargain when it comes to the cash that is needed. So, what was the most live we got watching last year? The most I got watching last year, I've got some stats for you if you like, because I'm a bit of a nerd. I worked out how many views and stuff I got from all my watch-alongs last year. So, the most peak viewership we got last year was Brazil. We got 12k. We got 12,000 peak viewership. And the most amount of views I got on a stream was Monaco, 212,000 views. Overall, my race watch-alongs garnered 1.8 million views throughout the season. And then that's just the races on Sunday. That's not including sprint races. And then the overall views for every single session that I did last year, so practice, qualifying, sprint races, etc., was 2.5 million. So, yeah, pretty decent year. And hopefully, and we doubled our more than doubled our subscriber count last year and our follower account. So hopefully we can do the same again this year. Right now we're on 340. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I'm never gonna get anywhere near those figures for testing. And look, the thing is now as well is that there's a lot of people that do these watch-alongs, and some people purely tune into these watch-alongs because they don't have access to Sky and actual footage, which is fine. So, but I'm glad. What's great to see about these is that I see a return in viewership. That's the great thing. So, and that's the key to success on YouTube, is having consistent viewership and returning viewership. So, James, what's my most viewed video of the year so far? I wonder what it is. Yeah. Rwanda ain't it. They might get it because they will throw a lot of money at it, but I prefer South Africa. Well, this is it, Hannah, isn't it? Hannah, yeah. Money. There's a reason why Spa is going on a rotation, because it doesn't pay. It pays less than half than what the Middle Eastern countries pay. So yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame, but money makes the world. Money literally makes F1 cars go round in a circle. Can we beat that this year, Georgian? I think so. Yeah, I think we can. So the channels can just continue to grow, and the viewership and so forth, and your support. And yeah, that's the plan, is to just continue doing what we did last year and hopefully make it bigger and better as well. So comments on the MCL 39, more aggressive suspension, pull rod at the front, overall views on the McLaren. Too early to say, Kelvin, to be honest with you. I haven't seen enough of it. Yet. So, as Lawson, on a brand new set of hards, goes fastest again in the first sector. So, Lawson could be setting a PB here. He's liking that hard compound tyre at the moment. Although there are two different sets of hard compound tyres available. The C1. Oh, no, I do not want to do a Windows update. Bugger off. Yeah. What else is going on? I love the 2040 calendar that only races in the Middle East. Yeah. Morning, Juan. Good to see you. Anthony is constantly losing 3 attempts in the middle sector. Is he? I haven't seen that yet. Maybe it's the way they got the car set up. But Liam Lawson, that is a yellow in the second sector, but you're literally talking he is 4 thousandths of a second slower than what he was previously on his fastest lap. So this is going to be a PB here, purple, another one, if he navigates his way around the last couple of corners. So here we go. He sets purple for Liam Lawson, a 31.5. Oof. Looking comfortable in that Red Bull. Who knows what relative time that is to what we'll see quickest wise come the end of the week, but it looks good. Thank you, Joker. Yeah, I'll check it out afterwards, mate. Check it out later. You enjoyed the race with me the other day? Thanks, man. Two people are waiting in the PM session. That's fine. That's good. People can go wait over there. But yeah, guys, please continue to hit that like and subscribe button. Thank you for the subs that have come in. I'm not ignoring you. Apologies. Don earlier. Miles La Simplicite. And Ruin, thank you for the subs. And anyone else who has subbed in the meantime. Thank you. What have we got here? I loved how you pronounced your name. Hi. No, I'm Belgian and Spa going on rotation pays me. I think I said Hane. Hi. Hane. Apologies if I've butchered your name. I try my best. Let's go Kiwi. Yeah. Now he looks comfortable, and that's pretty much what you need to get in an F1 car, especially when it's the second Red Bull car. Is feeling comfortable. So yeah, it's a good start to Liam. It's a good start to Liam's Red Bull career. So, what is this expected gap per tyre compound? I don't know, to be honest, Mario. I haven't seen any data in that regard. I haven't seen it. So, what's with Lewis? He's in the pits at the moment, no doubt, probably making some setup changes, analysing some data. There is a very long way still to go. We're only just gone over halfway in this morning session. 2 hours have absolutely flown by, guys. So thank you for joining me. I am going to go just have a quick coffee break and have that caffeine intake that is essential for me getting through these testing days. Hey from New Zealand, been a fan for 35 years, hardly missed a race. Well, thank you for choosing to join us, Raz. Yeah, Jordan, you're not alone. You got another Kiwi. Say hello to your countrymen. Are you off to Weatherspoons in a mo for breakfast? Oh, don't. Oh, my belly is starting to rumble. Is the Red Bull rotating or is a javelin still? Lewis's race pace is good, but he's not done those fast laps right now. No one has really done any proper fast laps. Look, the track is going to get quicker and quicker as it rubbers in. Of course, green to start off with. These drivers are going to be doing lots and lots of laps throughout the duration of this week. But yeah, Behrman is back out there. But yeah, he's 4 seconds off of the fastest lap at the moment. But yeah, interesting to see what they're doing in regards to Haas. Let's see if I can find any info on what it is that they're actually conducting at the moment. Let's have a look. Yeah, he's just doing some very high fuel runs, no doubt. Engine mode turned down. Obviously, they've got a plan that they're trying to stick to. Max Verstappen is at track, by the way, guys. So Max will probably be in the car this afternoon. That's what it looks like. I haven't got confirmation of that, but I've just seen an image of him and Bortoletto both at the track. So, yeah, he's probably going to be in the car this afternoon. So... You're also a Kiwi. Oh, we've got the Kiwis in the house. I'm not going to even attempt to do a terrible Kiwi accent. So no, you're not getting it from me. Have I got a day off work today? I've got 3 days off work. I used my holiday to provide you guys testing. I wanted to do it. Don't worry. I know that sounds like I made that to be a chore, but it's not. I really wanted to do this. So, yeah. Your name's Jordan. Yeah, Jordan Vanderberg. Yeah. Last name like that, I'm not sure you're a Kiwi. Gonna guess Dutch or Belgium. Could be wrong. So, where's Kiwi? New Zealand. You have the chance to drive 2 F1 cars from the last 20 years on a track day. Which would it be and why? Well, for one, it'd have to be in an alternate universe where I was considerably smaller and considerably slimmer. But I would love to drive... I'd love to drive the W11 or the W12, one of those two cars, because I think they're just, like, unbelievable cars to drive, like, the F1 terms, like, just how planted they were and how quick they were. And then I'd probably like to drive an older... I'd probably stick to flappy paddle. So I'd probably go... I'd like to drive either Lewis's McLaren in 08 or Schumacher's, one of his later Ferrari cars. 2004 Ferrari, yeah, one of those. One of those. So yeah, that's what I'd like to do. Something a bit more modern. So W11 or W12, and then one of either Lewis's 08 cars or yeah, the 2004 Ferrari would be cool. I'd like to see Piastri hammer down so we can learn something about the car. Yeah, this is McLaren's MO though. This is their MO. They did this all last year in practice. This is all last year, so. You're driving the 1988 McLaren and the 2004 Ferrari because I would enjoy those the most. I need to drive an H pattern. Trust me, when you go to an automatic in real life, you don't want to go back to a stick. You don't want to go back to a stick shift, yeah, or a H pattern. Do I think the Mercedes can have it this year? I think it's a tall order for them. I really do. I think they've just been playing catch up this whole regulation set. And I think Mercedes will be a team that if they very early on see that they haven't sorted out their issues from last year and they can't regularly fight for podiums, I think they're gonna be one of those teams that just writes off this year very early and puts all focus into 2026. Not that they haven't already, but yeah, I think they'll be one of those teams that just kind of just goes, yeah, we're throwing in a towel. Let's focus on 2026 very, very early. So we'll see. Did Max buy a new plane? Extra GPS because all those small planes are getting GPS spoofed. I don't know why he bought a new plane. I think it's got a larger capacity and I think it's got more mileage on it. Like more range, sorry, on it. So I think that's why he bought a new plane. From what I saw anyway. It would have to be the Ferrari 05 car, which was a dog, hence why I said 20 years. Oh, okay. 20. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, 20 years now. It's 2005. Oh, you just made me feel very old. I just learned the other day that in 2007, I saw a TikTok that it was like, oh, someone checking someone's ID. And they had to be 18 to buy alcohol, like you can in the UK. And they went, oh, this says 2007. And they're like, yeah, I'm 18 years old. I was like, what? Hang on. 18 years old? 2007? Oh my God, that made me feel super old. All faster drivers later today. What are you talking about? There's fast drivers out there. Look, Lewis Hamilton just set the fastest first sector. Let's keep an eye on Lewis Hamilton. Discord is in the description below. Yoga, you can head down there and grab the link there. So... very old, thanks for that. Yeah, sorry guys, I've just made everyone's morning feel, or afternoon or evening, wherever you are in the world, feel a lot worse. But yeah. 2007 feels like it was 5 years ago, not 18 years ago. Oh my God, unbelievable. Right, here we go. So Lewis Hamilton through the middle sector now as he heads down into the downhill braking zone of turn 13. It's a 39.5 for Lewis in the middle sector, so not particularly quick. 3 tenths off of Alonso's fastest first sector, as Albon's actually just gone quicker than him in that second sector. So not particularly great from Lewis in the middle sector. Maybe there was a lock-up, or maybe he's running a slightly different setup, more geared to the lower downfalls than the higher downfalls, or medium downfalls, whatever. Balanced. Still up into P2 on a set of mediums. I also wonder as well... oh, wow, 31.5 from Alex Albon. That's proven me wrong, but I was going to say, the medium compound tyre, I wonder if it's lasting long enough for a lap around here. I wonder if it's kind of maybe giving way a little bit. It depends on what type of compound of tyre they're using. But Albon setting in a good time on the mediums, but still, only 1/1000th of a second quicker than Lawson on a set of hards. So that just shows how good Lawson was in that medium. On that, so. Ham ruined his lap. He did ruin his lap, did he? Okay. Stuff is so old, he drives a sim in goggles and a scarf. Now, okay. You was born in 2007. You're not old. No, that's what I mean. 2007 is not old. But the fact of it you're turning 18 is ridiculous. Shouldn't be allowed. If Lawson struggles, the real question is who RB Racing signs? They don't trust Yuki. If Albon unexpectedly smashes signs, do they try and get him back? No. I tell you now who will be the next driver up in that Red Bull seat if it fails for Liam Lawson. They would rather skip Yuki Tsunoda and go straight for Arvid Lindblad. Keep an eye out on the name. We've mentioned him before. Arvid Lindblad. Yes, that is his name. Blad. He is half British, half Swedish, and he is very highly rated in the Red Bull system. So much so, I have heard he is as highly rated as what Max was when he was coming through the ranks. He's in F2 this year. And yeah, see how he gets on. But keep an eye on him. Don't you think Verstappen achieved the 4 titles just because of good timing of Merc downfall and a rigged 2021 finale? Come on, it's just circling in your head. You always need good timing to win, yes, title, good title. Basically, timing is everything in F1. And I don't just mean, obviously, lap times. I mean, being in the right car, in the right team, at the right time. The perfect example of a driver who's quick but hasn't been in the right team at the right time is Fernando Alonso. Like, he is arguably had the worst F1 career in regards to team choices after leaving Renault, where he won his world titles. Whereas Max and Lewis has arguably made the best decision in, other than maybe Michael Schumacher, one of the best decisions in F1 history, by leaving McLaren and moving to Mercedes. And, well, Max was at Red Bull and helped develop that car to become what it did, and had the fortune of timing of where there were no competitors for the next 3 years. Last year, of course, it was a lot harder for him, of course, and it was he really dug deep, and that is definitely the most, I think, impressive of his championships. But yeah, every champion enjoys their successes off of someone else's downfall. Exactly, Andy. I mean, 2021 is the rarity. That is the rarity. And I'm not talking about obviously how it ended, but the fact of it was so close down to the last race, level on points with Lewis. That's only ever happened one other time in F1 history. So the fact of that was so close, like, will be hard pressed to get that in a very long time, or any time soon, sorry. But yeah, I think there's always fortune. There's always fortune of being in the right team at the right time and having like no competitors, really. So yeah, but at the end of the day, history doesn't really look back on it on that. Eventually, everyone looks back at it and goes, wow, Schumacher's got 7 world titles. So has Lewis. Max has got 4. They don't really look at how uncompetitive those years were. I mean, look, while Michael Schumacher was a great driver and a quick driver, he was in a car that was utterly dominant over the rest of the field. He could start dead last and still lap half the field by the end of the race. Like, that's how dominant that Ferrari was in those few years. That's not to take anything away from him, because even though you have a dominant car, as we've seen with the likes of Sergio Perez, they aren't easy to drive. And the best drivers in F1 history get the most out of the fastest cars. And talent does shine through. But you get into those fast cars and you get into those top teams because you're quick in the first place and you deserve to be there. So I can see Max taking 2 years off, then coming back. You think? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Lewis may have deserved Abu Dhabi, but Max deserved 2021. Let's be honest. I disagree. Because at the end of the day, they both deserved it until that last race. The last race was decided. There's a reason why they went in and level 1 points at the end of the day. They all had their highs throughout that season and they all had their lows. And it rightfully so came down to the last race. And it's a shame, regardless of who you were supporting, it was a shame that it was decided in that manner, really. It should have just been decided. I mean, technically people will say it was decided out on track, but it should have been decided as the race, as a whole race, not just down to a single final lap. Because if that's what we really truly wanted, why don't we just set that up from the beginning, you know? But that's the last I'm really going to touch on Abu Dhabi. So everyone just wants a reason to hate Lawson because he's replaced the talented Sergio and outperformed Yuki in 11 Grand Prix. Yeah, look, he'll prove him wrong, Jordan. He'll prove him wrong. The only way, people are always going to have... Perez has a lot of supporters, has a lot of supporters out there. And F1 is more tribal than it's ever been. So people won't see fault in their driver, whether you support Lewis Hamilton, whether you support Max Verstappen. And I think that's wrong. I mean, Alonso is still performing amazing. Get rid of Stroll and then problem solved. Well, yeah, I think a lot of Aston Martin's problems can be solved if they got rid of Stroll, but we'll see. 3 times a very close bridesmaid. I know, Jimmy. I know. Let's not forget Perez was a beast in that Force India. He was, but then that's his level. That was his level. His level was midfield. And even then, he wasn't overly quick. It was the fact Perez's strength was that he was able to look after the tyres so much better than anyone else in the midfield. But when it came to taking that extra step of winning races and trying to win a world championship, he was unable to do that. Not only against Max, but also against Lewis Hamilton, George Russell, Lando, like Charles Leclerc. Like Sergio Perez in those years should have been finishing straight behind Max. Yes, okay, not that close behind him, but he should have been second easy, and he didn't. So surprised there's been no talk of Perez and Rick to IndyCar. Is Rick going to IndyCar? I mean, I can see him going IndyCar because he's so big. I think Perez is in talks with Cadillac. I think he'll be back in F1. Not maybe because he deserves it, but because he brings a shed load of cash with him, and it's too good of an opportunity for, yeah, an F1 team still to kind of turn down. So Alan Prost is 0.5 points for being a 5-time champ. Oof. Which F1 driver would 100-meter dash foot race? I'm going to say one of the tall lads. Ocon or Russell. They're both like 6 foot, aren't they? 6'1". Longer strides. Will Hamilton struggle this season? I don't think so. No. I think we're going to see a revitalised Lewis Hamilton. I think we're going to see him win races this year in that Ferrari. And I think he's going to be a lot more comfortable. I think the big thing for Lewis is a change in mentality. We've discussed this already. He's coming from Mercedes where he was always low, down in the dumps, unable to fight back for a world championship. He's just spent the last decade dominating with Mercedes and, of course, touch on 21 again, but in the manner that ended, he, of course, wanted to be able to come back and fight for another championship in 2022, make amends. And he's been unable to do that. And people have compared him to George Russell, rightfully so, because you're compared to your teammate first. And the difference in mentality and approach is that Lewis is coming off from that massive high and, of course, that disappointment of 21. Whereas George Russell is coming from Williams, spending 4 years at Williams, not fighting for any meaningful position for the majority of his time in that car, at the back of the grid, to then fighting for podiums and being in Mercedes. So his approach and his buoyancy is going to be a lot larger and a lot happier than what Lewis Hamilton's is. So, or was. And at Ferrari, Lewis is going to be happy and buoyant and be in a much better mental space because of that. So, you think Charles may have a solid 0.4 in hand for the first 6 months? Lewis isn't the old Lewis anymore. Yeah, I am under no impression that Charles will probably have the better of Lewis to start off with. Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's as good as Lewis is. he's still heading into a different environment that he's not used to. A different country, a different language. And Charles has been at that team for, what, his 5th year now? Is it his 5th year, Charles? How many years has Charles been there? So, yeah, thanks, Yogo. Thanks for tuning in, buddy. Like that, to come in and be expected to beat anyone from the get-go like that, as someone of Charles Leclerc's caliber, is a tall order. But we'll see. We'll see. I feel like McLaren have invested too much money to win both championships this year and won't do so well next year, kind of like 2022. Same with Aston Martin, so they can get the money from P3. I don't know. I mean, look, I think if you've just come off the back of a Constructors title, your first Constructors title in 24 years, over 2 decades since McLaren last won the Constructors. And the last time they won a Drivers' Championship was back with Lewis in 2008. I think you'd be remiss not to try and put a lot of stock into this season. At the end of the day, it's still part of history. It's still winning a Constructors. It's still winning a Drivers' World Championship. If you've got the car to do it and you can develop to do so, then why not? But yeah, they also can't take. They also need to keep one eye on 2026 as well, because they don't want to. They don't want to just completely disappear from the top of the grid again, like they did for 2 decades. Russell was consistently faster than Lewis, and Charles will be too. Yeah, there was a lot of caveats to that though, Marley. I think last year with Russell over Lewis, I think there's a lot of caveats to that. One, Lewis's poor qualifying, and him being used as a test dummy for a lot of the time, and George Russell getting the better, safer setups. I think that's a lot of the reason why. So. But that's not to take anything away from George. I think George is still doing a tremendous job, and I think if George is given a race-winning car, he'll be there, and I think he has improved year on year. So, yeah. Really can't wait for the Oz GP, Astral. Yeah, not long to go. Not long to go. The big question is, Carl Bono, what happens there? I'm so intrigued. Yeah, we've mentioned it. I want to see that inter-team battle with Sainz and Albon. Yeah, I'm intrigued to see. It's a make-or-break year for Alex Albon. It really is, because if he gets comfortably beaten by Carlos Sainz this year, that's his opportunity at a top seat in F1 gone ever again, in my opinion. And depending on how bad it is, while he signed a multi-year deal with Williams, if it's that bad, would Williams get rid of him and replace him with someone else? I don't know. But he's definitely maybe only got until the end of his contract if he gets comfortably beaten by Sainz while Sainz is there. So, and then I think that could be him out of F1. I think Max Lewis, Charles Lando, and George could immediately fight in IndyCar. The rest would struggle. IndyCar is fiercely competitive. Yeah, I mean, it's a different motorsport series. So, make or break for Carlos as well. They're that mid-youngster group with the rookie span. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's not to say that it isn't for Carlos as well. That is very true. But yeah, we'll see. We will see. I really like George before he got in Mercedes and arrogant. I think George just plays the PR game very well. He's very media trained. He's very aware of kind of, I think, how he portrays himself. And I think George has ultimately made it his goal while he was alongside Lewis Hamilton to beat Lewis, because he obviously holds Lewis in very high esteem and regard. Like, he is a hero of his, and he knows how good Lewis is, even still at this age. And his aim was solely to beat Lewis, because that's only kind of the only real competition he had, because of how weird, how poor, sorry, that's the word I was looking for, how poor the Mercedes has been over the last 3 years. So yeah, maybe some of that arrogance has come from that, and it's trying to self-reassure himself that he's good enough. But I'm all here for him getting up in Max's face, though, and providing us some beef. Are Williams setting real quick times? No. So you can see here the last lap, a 1:34.4. So you got their best lap, and then we got the last lap. So that's what you want to be looking at really kind of now. Of course, if anything goes purple, then you know they're on a good lap. Yellow means they're on a slower lap they're a slower sector compared to their fastest sector they've set. So, yeah. Why is chat so keen to see F1 drivers in IndyCar? Don't know. IndyCar's getting more popular. Will Buxton's gone over there now, Andy. Did you not know? Do I expect it to be a fall off in pace after round 6 and the B-spec cars are implemented, or will the upgrade packages prove that the teams have already moved past the flexi wings? I think the second part to that, Phoenix. Yeah, I think the teams will be preparing for that. I think we'll see a drop-off maybe in some of the teams that haven't necessarily prepared as well. But they've got enough. I say they've got enough, really. I mean, look, the flexi wings are such an important element of the car. That's the first point of contact of the air, of the car going through the air. And everything beyond that directs the air over the car and the wheels. So, yeah, if they haven't accommodated for that, we could see some teams who haven't drop off, as we've seen in the past with technical directives that have been issued mid-season. But I think with the, I think we'll see a natural develop. It's enough time for the cars to develop and expect that change. So, and I think it's going to affect some more than others as well. What's up with the tire data? It's not updating for some reason either. Is it? Can we change? What else can we add here? What else can we add here? Let's have a look. Got tire age and tire. Have I got tire age and tire compound selected? Hang on. Tire compound would be helpful, wouldn't it? Set that and see what happens there. I mean, but that's kind of doubling up there, isn't it? That's double up. That's a double up. I'll have a look if there's any more. Oh yeah, it might be. It's. I mean, this data comes from F1, Jordan. So it might be. It's not on my end probably. It's probably on F1's end. When will we see the actual speed of the cars? What do you mean? Oh, yes, sorry, you mean that? Yeah, no. So, all the tyres are there. That's what they've run thus far, all these tyres. But obviously, it encroaches onto what's happening here. So, would it be on softs later? Probably not, Georgian. No. So, only 2 teams have brought soft tyres this weekend. That is the Williams and the Ferrari. Everyone else hasn't brought them. So, yeah. Add mini sectors. I can do that. Let's have a look. Where are the mini sectors? Hang on, I'm just trying to see. So, mini sector. We'll see what that looks like. This may not look good, so if it's too cluttered, I will be altering this back. Yeah, it's too cluttered, really. Because you still want the times, so. Don't like that. Liam has highlighted how important the Sims are now to F1 driver development. The new gen guys all grew up in the thing, literally, and their fast adaptation and general speed compared to the older guys. Goes to show the kids might have an edge. Yeah, I agree. I think, look, that you have to use the sim now. I mean, the sims that they're using as well are not the sims that we have at home or that I have here. The equipment they use, they all spend thousands of pounds on having like their sim created for them, and it's top notch. And it's a form of practice as well. It's a form of them being able to dial in the car and become accustomed to how the car feels and dial in setups. And it just, I think it's essential now. You can't not avoid it. Lewis Hamilton was always someone who's had to adapt to using the sim as well. He was always quite against it. But yeah, especially with how much limited testing there is now with F1, you have to get that mileage in, even if it's virtually. He does like his sim racing, Jordan, doesn't he? He helped develop the Super Formula car that I love so much on iRacing. So it's a shame don't see him on there more often, but he's a busy man, so we understand. We understand. No, we're not going to get anywhere close to that quali times, Hum, because there's only 2 teams that have brought a single set or 2 sets of soft tyres. So, of course, the soft compound tyre needs to be run. Well, actually, then again, we could get some times that are close, because technically speaking, the soft compound tyre last year, let's have a look. Bahrain compound tyres 2024. So, technically speaking, it's quite an abrasive circuit, so the tyre compounds that would be used. So last year, the C3 is in effect the soft compound tyre used at Bahrain. So that is, that is one of technically the medium compound tyres that we see here this week. So yeah, we could see some low times, technically speaking. But we'll see. It's brain training also. Practice on a sim. Get good night's sleep. You're faster. Exactly. If you want some of your own VRS sim racing kit. These days he does his sim work on Guitar Hero. Through the fire and the flames. That was it. I hear him speak to him at Speedway when he comes home. Oh, nice one. What's my dream car? Oh, my dream car. When I was growing up, I always loved the Ferrari Enzo. I had a model of it on my shelf. I loved the Ferrari Enzo. What is my dream car? That's a tough one. That is a tough one, because as I've got older, I'm kind of like... But I tell you what my ideal car is. My ideal car... Not a dream car, but my ideal car is a Bentley Continental GT, because it looks awesome. You've got the comfort of a Bentley, and you've got the pace of it as well, and you've got the grunt, the sound of it. Kind of like that'd be my ideal car, like, because that's like a all comfort, speed, grunt, sound, all in one, and it's a good looking car. That's kind of like what my ideal car would be. 911 Dakar, E92 M3. You've driven the Continental GT Supersport a fair amount. You get no sensation of speed. Yeah, I mean the width of the tyres of a Bentley Continental are unbelievable. No wonder. They're like nearly as wide as the road. So yeah, that's what I would like. As you get older, you realise a supercar's lovely, but I'd like to have comfort as well. And not all supercars are comfortable. But anyway, right, guys, I just need a quick loo break, and I'm going to make myself another coffee. Maybe I suggest you guys do the same. Or if wherever you are, I mean, it is Wednesday. It's 5 o'clock somewhere, you know. Definitely some of you guys watching right now, it's gone 5 o'clock. Crack open a beer. But yeah, I'll be back in just a couple of minutes with a coffee, and yeah, we're ready to crack on. So see if anyone sets any more lap times. In the meantime, hit that like and subscribe button, guys. Back in a sec. I'm back. Did you miss me? Oh, something I just interestingly heard while I was gone, hope you guys were chatting amongst yourselves, is that Max Verstappen is only one more, shall we say, collision where he's deemed at fault to have a race ban attributed to him. I think he's on 9 penalty points, something like that. So, how's my coffee? I've got it right here. Got it here. He's on 8. Is he on 8? I thought it was... He's not far away though, is he? Am I wrong? I feel like I've been awake so long. I went and looked at the time. I was like, surely it's like getting to lunchtime. It's like 9:45 here in the UK. What is wrong with the Aston? Nothing, really. Fernando Alonso is still in the pits. He's done a good few laps. They're probably analysing data, making some setup changes accordingly to it, filling the car up with fuel, you know, putting stuff on sensors and so forth. Thank you, Junior. Focus on your studies, though. I don't want to be the result of you not passing. When will the penalty points reset? That is a very good question. Was it 1 year after you got them, Taco? There you go. Kind of makes sense, doesn't it? You think most teams have done their morning session done and dusted? I don't think so. I think they'll probably go out. There's still a long time to go yet. An hour and 15. Maybe they have, maybe they haven't, but... But yeah, Piastri and... Let's have a look, actually. So that's a 29.6.9. So that's 8th fastest in the first sector for Piastri there. So McLaren are definitely not pushing. They're definitely not pushing. I'm on your second monitor. Good man, Camo. Good man. Now, that's the thing. That's what we're here for, is to try and provide you guys a service. But also, just to chat F1. Do you know how much I was looking forward to these 3 days? I was really hoping that the live data would be available, because I've missed talking F1. I really have. And yeah, I was like, I'm going to spend the next 3 days just chatting to you guys about F1. Great. Absolutely great. It was my biscuit of choice for the coffee there. It was a soft, so it's like an 80 calorie toffee, soft toffee bar or something, like a skinny bar, skinny whip bar that they sell here in the UK. Yeah, it's nice, to be fair. I think they're just getting the engine ready. Oh, what, for Aston? Yeah, I'm looking at TV coverage. See if there's anything to kind of report home at the moment. Behrman's reporting the wind. Feels like it's picking up on the radio. 6.3 mile an hour northeast winds, so that's not great. Out in Bahrain, obviously it can get windy out there in the desert. So at the moment, Yuki has completed the most laps with 48. Alonso, yes, you are right, guys. Alonso has only completed 19 laps. Can we, let's have a check of that. That's something that we need to get up then, isn't it? We need to get up how many laps drivers have actually completed. Surely there's one here of like total laps. There we go. Total laps completed. That's what we need. I knew it was somewhere. Let's stick it in front of the tyre history. There we go. I think that's fair. Let's do that. You only really need to see the last 2 sets of tyres that they've used, to be honest with you. But that gives you a total look of their laps that they've completed. And Alonso's only done 20 laps. That is not a lot, is it? That is not a lot. No text feed of radio, no. From my understanding. I think F1 is holding that back. They're only posting it on like... yeah, they're not posting it. Is there any website you can watch this live? I think Sky Sports are streaming it live, but look, to be honest with you, there's not really too much to watch. It's testing is testing at the end of the day. And of course, I'd love you guys to stay here. That's what I'm doing for you. But yeah, no, you don't get that in the same interaction when you're watching it, of course, on TV coverage than what you can here. When did Piastri do 36? I know, right? Doesn't feel like Piastri's been out there for nearly the same amount of time as Liam Lawson. It's mad. I'm way better than Scott. No, stop it, Ben. Stop it. No, continue. Please, continue. Piastri faked 37 laps. Yeah, he's done 36 out laps. just back round to the pits again. But yeah, so Alonso's done the clearest, least amount of laps compared to everyone else. Tsunoda 48. Antonelli now has done the most, 50. On his 50th lap as he crosses the line with Ollie Behrman in P10 on 48 laps as well. So they've been in. So while Behrman hasn't really set any quick laps, I mean, you can see there, Ollie Behrman, his fastest lap is 4 seconds back from Alex Albon. So the top 9 are all less than 7 tenths, just over 6 tenths back from each other, separating the runners here this morning. But Behrman, interestingly, Haas just doing their own thing. They're just cracking on, doing their own thing, not worried. And yeah, fastest lap is a 35.6 compared to everyone else who's around the 31-32 mark. So this afternoon, Jordan, this afternoon. So we're having a lunch break from 11 till 12, and then yeah, 12 till 4 is when I think every driver is swapping in. I don't think any driver is doing the full day. I could be wrong. So yeah, we'll see. You'll watch Scotty over that Brundle with a fumble. Thanks, Jordan. I'm going for that Buxton spot. Well, if it's offered to me, I'll take it. It's better than the day job. Behrman vs Anthony in the future is going to be lit. Yeah, hopefully. Brundle slander. I know. I actually like both of the Brundles, to be fair. Alex in particular, I do like. I think Alex Brundle's pretty good. If you start at the front of the grid, you'll have 19 drives behind. What's my real name? Scott. No, cheers, guys. Well, obviously, those of you who are new to this channel, welcome, welcome. If you're unfamiliar with what I do here with these watch-alongs, of course, we have the live data in front of you and the track map. Of course, copyright reasons, we cannot show the full TV coverage, as you probably already know, which is why you're here. But what I particularly do is on race weekends, we do the practice sessions. We discuss what has happened during the week. I'm very kind of up to date with all like the news coverage and stuff like that and the goings on in F1. Part of the Missed Apex crew as well, so I get obviously a lot of my information from them lot. And then I do kind of alternative commentary, basically. You can go and check some of my streams from last year. And yeah, if you're fed up with Crofty and any other kind of like commentator, I think what we do here is a bit unique. And I think I stand out in the way that I deliver the races. And yeah, we kind of treat I try and treat this as a show. Try and treat this as a show for you, really, where we have like a pre-show. We chat about the strategy before the race begins and the tyre compounds on usage, what potentially the drivers are looking at weather report and so forth. And then we do the race, and then we stick around afterwards as well, and we discuss what has happened in the race and have a bit of back and forth. So, what's my Discord? It's in the link. Link is in the description below, Denmark. Link is in the description below. Do I know Scott Newman? No. No. Are you about to suggest that I know every Scott because my name's Scott? Nothing says F1 testing like McLaren sandbagging. I know. Since launch, you've only seen news about Ferrari. Yeah, well, that's probably a good thing for a lot of the other teams. They're probably glad about that. There was always going to be a lot of hype about Ferrari, wasn't there? I should invite Super GT in my iRacing vids. He's a bit too big for me. You'd probably say, who are you? And secondly, iRacing unfortunately doesn't work that way. It's all dependent on your license and so forth. So, yeah, I mean, he did do the Bathurst 12 hours at the weekend, didn't he? But with James Baldwin, but he doesn't really do iRacing. He's more so a GT content creator, isn't he? What's my one crazy prediction for the whole season? Oof. I'll have to come back to you on that one. I'm not entirely sure what to predict. What do I predict? I'm thinking hard about this one. Okay, here's one. This is wild, by the way. Prepare yourself. This is wild. Liam Lawson will finish the season with more race wins than Max Verstappen. That's wild. That is wild. That's off the cuff. Do you know why I think that? Because I think the Red Bull is going to be dogged this year. So I don't think either of them are going to have too many race wins between them. That's just a wild one. Like, you wanted a wild prediction. I'm not saying it's going to come true. That's just a wild prediction. I'm just throwing it out there. So, but yeah, look, I still expect Max to beat Liam. But if that Red Bull is dog, Max could find himself being very frustrated this year. And just doing things that, yeah, that he maybe wouldn't do if he was in a right frame of mind. I don't know. But how many wins between them? I don't know. I just don't have much faith in the Red Bull this year. I think they are probably coming off that high. I think what we saw last year, I don't see them making any progression compared to the other teams and how they finished. And I think they'll get minimum one apiece. The reason I say that is that Liam may get two, Max may get one. I don't know. I don't see Max winning many races this year. That you can clip that, and I'll be happy to be proven wrong. But I just think the Red Bull, and that's not because of Max. That's because the car that he will be provided will not be good enough to provide him multiple race wins this year. That's what I think. So he is great entertainment, yeah. And I think that the competitors around him, and we've seen how close it's been, I just don't think he's going to have a car advantage. I think the car may be poor in qualifying this year. And with McLaren and Ferrari, and maybe, I still don't expect much from Mercedes, but they'll be probably peaky at certain tracks. He's going to find himself having to make up a lot of ground, and I don't think it's going to be the same McLaren and Lando and Piastri that he's fighting last year. It's not going to be the same Lewis, and it's going to be harder for him to find himself fighting for race wins. But I could be wrong. They could absolutely prove me wrong and create a mega car again, and Max wins the first 5 races. But yeah, just a wild prediction, guys. Just a wild prediction. That's all. Thoughts of the swearing ban. We've mentioned it previously, Ben. Time should be better spent elsewhere by Mohammed Ben Salim, to be honest with you. So, want to see where Sainz stands in the Williams? Yes. I just got a feeling Sainz is going to trounce Albon. I mean, Sainz jumped into that Williams on post-season testing, a car he's never driven before. Jumped into that car, and by the end of the day, his first day in testing, his fastest lap was 2 tenths quicker than Alex Albon's qualifying time from the weekend. Now, yes, there's a number of variables to that. However, that is still impressive. That is still impressive regardless. And if anything, the track probably would have been a bit slower because it was during the daytime, it wasn't during the nighttime that testing was happened. And I just think that's impressive. So, yeah, we'll see. Those would have been on the Hypersoft tyres. I don't think so, were they? If they were, then maybe it makes sense. But I think even so, let's just say the fact that he was there or thereabouts. Let's say if it was on the step softer, or a step up from that, harder. I mean, the fact that he would have been anywhere close to Albon, after Albon's been in that team for 3 years, driven that car all year, and he's no slouch, then... Okay, I could be wrong there, but I think even so, like, the fact of it, he was able to be quicker says a lot about Sainz and I think what we can potentially expect from him this year. And he's got a point to prove himself. Albon's got a point to prove, but I mean, Sainz has definitely got a point to prove. Like, he's going to be sitting here this year going, Toto, Christian, this is why he wants to end the season and go, this is why you should have chosen me alongside your drivers. So, your prediction is that Lawson will race every single race weekend at least 4 times. He's a Kiwi, of course he will. Max will have to lose a leg to get behind Liam. Maybe. No one is untouchable. Max is very quick, but there will be someone that comes up, as there was with Sebastian Vettel, as there was with Daniel Ricciardo. Like, a pattern has occurred at Red Bull where the driver who was the number one, who was the main man, who took over from the number one at the time, they always eventually kind of fall away. And then Red Bull look, and they've been very good really in kind of like them picking their next number one driver. So, and that could happen with Max as well. Oh, Lawson stopped in turn 3. Lawson had a spin. Here we go. We've just been bigging up Lawson, and Lawson's just gone very slow through turn 3. What just happened there? There was no yellow flag, but Lawson just stopped at turn 3, and I don't think that's a lag in the data. What just happened there with Liam Lawson? Did he come to a genuine stop? I'm just watching him now on the live TV coverage as he heads down into turn 1. What did he do? What did he do? There was a stop sign, pretty normal thing. Not in Bahrain. I'm just watching it now. What did he do? Oh, he did spin. Lawson did spin. Lawson spun. He touched the curb. He touched the curb on turn 3, and he nearly saved it. It wasn't like a full spin. He saved it, but was able to get the car going again. So yeah, I'm surprised the yellow flag didn't come out for that. Marshall's a bit slow. Oh, and they panned straight to Helmut Marko after he's just had that little wobble. After he's had that spin. So, at the Mazda spin, no, not as bad as Mazda spin, no. But it was at turn 3, yeah. He got onto the curb, and as he got off the curb, the rear unsettled. He saved it, and then it went kind of sideways, parallel to the track, and then he got going again, so. Just watching it now. And Alex Brundle is actually reporting that the rear end of that Red Bull has looked a little bit more nastier than the other cars. So, let's have a look. Oh, wow. It was actually turn 2. He touches the curb of turn 2, and that's where it then goes. Yeah. But that's really odd. I wouldn't say that's a Liam Lawson fault. That is... Is that a fault? Maybe he's hit the curb there at just a slightly wrong angle. It seems like it's slightly more raised this year through turn 2 than it has been. But you wouldn't expect the car to be really unsettled like that. So, just watching it again. Yeah, he's just clipped the curb there. So turn 2, they've not only is there a bollard there, there's also the curb is slightly raised now and sloped into sloped into towards the track, and he's just caught that at the wrong angle. So yeah, it's I'd be interested to see if anyone else clips the curb that hard in any onboards, to see if that is a trait with the car or with the setup, or if that's just purely driver error. But I'd suspect that the other drivers would be taking that quite aggressively. So it's so funny all the sort of people that totally ignore what a good dude Lawson is in any media appearance, but just pray for his downfall. That would be the case for anyone who dares come up against their favourite driver, Electronica. It'll be the same for Charles Leclerc fans, for Lewis Hamilton. It'll be the same for, like, yeah. It doesn't matter who it is, favourite driver. If anyone's coming up against their favourite driver, yeah. But I think people maybe, for no fault of his own, Lawson, I think Yuki has a lot of fans, and I think a lot of people feel like Yuki's been shafted for that seat, and Lawson doesn't deserve it, which I think is totally unfair to Lawson. And that's also a reason why he's getting kind of unfair criticism. But look, at the end of the day, he will get past that. He'll ignore it, Lawson. I'm sure he's thicker skinned than that, and paying attention to all the things on social media. So, has McLaren set any purple sectors till now? Nope. No. Alonso's back out there though. He's doing some laps. We have 54 minutes left of this first AM session, guys. So thank you for tuning in and joining me. If you could hit that like button once more. And yeah, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. So thank you if you have done. In the meantime, we'll be back, of course, for this afternoon. There'll be an hour's lunch break from 11 till 12 UK time, that is. So once this ends, there'll be an hour's lunch break. I've already got the second stream set up, the PM stream, so you can get that up and go hang out in there, ready for the afternoon session. Of course, turn your notifications on as well if you haven't already, to be alerted for when I am going to go live. So yeah, not long to go, and I'm sure we'll see a change in drivers for the afternoon session as well, which will be interesting. Yeah, because his fans are piling on Daniel at every mistake, or even when the team screwed him with the goal to end his career. F. Lawson, both Daniel and Yuki were quicker than Lawson. I disagree with that. Daniel wasn't quicker. Daniel and Yuki were not quicker than Lawson. So, do you think F2 results are even relevant anymore, or is it mostly just which Prima driver did best? I don't think results are particularly I don't think F2 is as important anymore. So I think what we've seen is that the results aren't the be-all and end-all, but what teams are looking for are certain traits and skills that they want in a driver. So they want to see a driver that's able to make multiple overtakes and take the race in its ascendancy, and just showcase what they want in an F1 driver. I think it's more important what you do in your more so the lower junior formulas to gain attention there than what it is in F2, to be honest with you. F2 is just kind of that last. I feel like that F2 is just kind of like a waiting ground. It's just a place for drivers to wait for a seat to become available in F1. I feel like that's what the top teams do. So I think that's what they've done with Vantinelli, and I think that's what they've done with like Behrman and stuff as well. So very few of them, I think, get to F1 purely on racing merit in F2. You know, I don't think like their performance in F2 is the be all and end all of them getting an F1 drive. I think it's more so what they've done prior to getting to that point. So I wasn't paying attention. Okay, DR wasn't slow at all. He had all kinds of issues at McLaren and VCAR, but still beat Yuki's quickest ever quali 3 times in a few races. He wasn't screwed by strategy. So Daniel lost his mojo at McLaren because he felt uncomfortable with the car and the way that it drove. That's down to him, not to McLaren. I'm sure there's more things that went on behind the scenes to not particularly boost his confidence, and it was obviously best for all parties that they split ways, but evidently Daniel was not as comfortable on the brakes as he used to be, and he just lost any sort of confidence that he had when he'd been driving for Red Bull or Renault in that McLaren. In regards to quali times, quali means sweet FA when it comes to pace. Doesn't matter if you're quick over a single lap, it's what you can do on a race day. And look, Daniel didn't completely get outperformed by Yuki. Yuki did perform better just than Daniel, but your argument, Justice, was that Liam Lawson was not as quick as Daniel or Yuki. Well, the difference is that Daniel had a considerably a lot more longer time in that car than Liam Lawson, as did Yuki. And Liam Lawson came in at 2 points in the season, and the last 2 seasons, and was pretty much on pace or just slightly off of it when it came to Yuki, who you'd expect to be further ahead than him. There was also Mexico as well, where Yuki crashed and brought out the red flag when Liam Lawson was potentially going to get into Q3 as well, if you want to make qualifying a point. But Lawson has shown in those few races and under the circumstances that he came into F1 and had to take his opportunity, that he has done that. I made a video on Yuki, and he has shown plenty. While I do think politics is the main reason why he hasn't got that seat in Red Bull, I think there's plenty out on track that Yuki has showcased why he'd be a risk to take to Red Bull still. He hasn't shown enough progression still to really get to the top seat. Politics is a primary factor, of course it is, but I still think there's valid reasons out on track why Yuki's been overlooked. Daniel was just past it, unfortunately, and his performance is tailed off. He did get shafted by some strategies, but he just wasn't as quick as what he used to be. And I do think Daniel was going to be afforded the opportunity of getting into that. I do think Daniel was going to get into that second seat of Red Bull at the summer break last year, because he was so pally-pally with Max Verstappen. He was doing all the PR stuff there as well with Max, and it wasn't Perez doing it. And then they had that conversation on the Monday, Perez's team, and Perez was kept on. And then that was basically the end of Daniel's kind of F1 career. So Yuki performed better when the car was capable of points. Lawson wasn't quicker in any of the races versus Yuki in his first stint when he beat him 4-1. No, Yuki wasn't better than Lawson when the car was capable of points. Where are you getting that from? It wasn't possible for Daniel to get a seat when VCAR ran different strategies every race that decided the outcome most of the time. I disagree with that as well. That there were points when they did, but I've looked back at it and I've done the research, and they didn't actually get shafted over as many times as you think. And a lot of the times, the reason why they decided to make other strategies was because the drivers were out of position in the first place. And they should have been doing more. So 100% Daniel was getting the seat in the summer. I'm convinced that something had to change, like Checo Pan. I think, yeah, I reckon they probably threatened to sue him or something. Either more money was paid up front, or, as he reiterated throughout the season, the remainder of the season, he's got a contract. He's got a contract. And I think that's what happened. They weren't willing to buy him out of his contract. And they went, if you do this, you've got to pay us X, Y, and Z. And Red Bull went, fuck, we're not going to do that in the middle part of the season. And then his performances just got worse and worse. And come the end of the season, he ended up They ended up paying him out of it. They just thought, we can't go on with this any longer. It's worth paying the money to get him out of this contract. So he's doing more damage to the brand of Red Bull than it is keeping him there and that money. And they're also probably saving a shed load of cash in regards to wages as well. Liam Lawson's on what, like a pittance compared to what Sergio Perez was being paid. So I appreciate you putting your point across, though, Justice. This is what it's all about. It's okay to have your point and for me to have my point and agree. And it's okay to disagree on those points. Who's going to be the best rookie this season? I think we spoke about it earlier. It's... I think we said Behrman already. I think, relatively speaking, compared to like the car he's in and the teammate he's going up against, I think Behrman will probably be the best rookie. Another interesting example is Mick Schumacher, undeniably better race pace and racecraft than K-Mag, even though he struggled in quali. His main problem was, one, the costly crashes. Only figuring out the Haas after it was no longer competitive. Yeah, I think the thing is with Mick Schumacher, that was very much, I mean, that was just a toxic environment for him to find himself in. He was clearly there because of sponsors. Obviously, he was an F2 champion, but he was put in because of the money that he was bringing to the team. And unfortunately for him, I mean, that Drive to Survive series, where his last series in there was so telling. Like, he was getting such what's the right word? Mixed directions. Like, they were telling him you need to go quicker, but then don't crash the car, and you can't do this, you can't do that. And then Gunther Steiner is just... I know people like Gunther Steiner. He's a terrible man manager. Terrible man manager. There is no surprise, in my personal opinion, that Haas had the year that they had last year because they got rid of Gunther Steiner. If they kept Gunther Steiner, I reckon they would have finished towards the back of the grid. And I think Mick Schumacher found himself in a position where he was damned if he did and damned if he didn't. At the end of the day, like, he was worried that Mick found himself in a position where he was struggling for pace, but then he also couldn't try and extract more pace out of the car in fear that he would be lambasted for crashing the car. So, yeah. Why do you think Behrman has not set a good time yet? They're clearly just doing I don't know what they're doing, but they're clearly decided on this from the outset to do this run plan in the AM session for Behrman. The fact of it, he's done 56 laps. He's second in laps completed, third to only Antonelli, who's actually gone to the top of the timing sheets. I didn't even realise there. With a 31.4. He's in the top 3 for laps completed. So this is definitely a conscious decision by Haas to do this. So, yeah, who knows? Very high fuel runs, maybe. Turning the engine mode down, no doubt. And just wanting to gather data for maybe just specific reasons. Haas literally got a partnership with the biggest automotive company on the planet as soon as Steiner left. Yeah, we've had some inside information as well from people within Haas that have informed that Gunther wasn't a good manager. Almost verging on bully, which I can see. Like, he's sweary, he comes across well, but you look at how he managed his drivers, and you look at how he was on Drive to Survive. It's funny to look at, but I tell you what, to try and work in an environment like that, like, it's just, I've worked for dickhead bosses before, and I can see one from a mile off, and Gunther seemed like he was a bit of a dickhead boss. Matt's just not got his dad's car. Yeah, I think Mick also, he's just not got his dad's pace. But ClubSport found a second career Alpine in sports cars. Giovinazzi gets the post F1 credit because of Le Mans, but Mick is genuinely the quickest WC driver right now and has found his foot in. Oh, that's great. Good to hear. Yeah, because, I mean, he's not a slouch by any means. Some people just aren't made up for F1, and that sometimes it doesn't go right for them for many reasons, and doesn't mean that they're slow. They're still quick in other motorsport series. So, I mean, it helps when a Japanese person runs the team. Well, yeah, it's not just that. It's also just the fact. I mean, that's probably that connection, but it's also maybe they were not looking. Maybe sometimes sponsors and companies don't want to be associated with a certain individual who runs a team. You know. This track is third or fourth in the season last year. Was first. No, this track was first last year. Bahrain. It's not going to be this year. Because the Middle Eastern races, so Bahrain and Saudi, have been pushed back in the year, are in the calendar because Ramadan's earlier this year. So to accommodate for that, they have pushed the calendar. Well, they've pushed those two tracks back. That's why we start in Australia and then go to China and then go to Japan, Suzuka. Exactly, Andy. Yeah, V-carb does look good. The V-carb does look good. I think it's the best. I think it still is the best livery. Still definitely the best livery. Bahrain is a good track. I really want it on iRacing, Taco. It's kind of sad how some people see bad F1 drivers as bad drivers. They are good as they manage to get into the F1. It's just they aren't as good as others. Yeah, exactly. Like, you've got to remember, like, technically speaking, F1 is the peak of motorsport. Some of us will disagree, but yeah, arguably every driver starts out to become an F1 driver. That's primarily what most motorsport drivers, I'd say 90% of them, of course, there's a lot that want to be NASCAR drivers when they start out, and there's a lot that want to be rally drivers, but that's a small proportion compared to like F1 drivers. I think everyone starts out in go-karts, don't they, most of them, and then they go into open wheelers, and then they realise that they kind of go off into sports cars and other things. But yeah, the majority of motorsport, as kids, they want to become F1 drivers, and it's like the peak of what people see as their career and motorsport. And you get there. Sometimes drivers get there, they're fortunate enough, and then it's a different kettle of fish, isn't it? It's like playing in a championship, the second tier of football in the UK, and then you think you're great, you've got there, you've done it, you're good enough to do that, you make a good career and a good living off of it, and then you get promoted to the Premier League. And then you just get absolutely battered week in, week out, and you just realise, nah, this is a next step up. It's a different level, and I just don't have it. And that's what a number of drivers find out. So every 8-year-old karting kid wants to be an F1 driver. Yeah, exactly. To start off with, it's like golf. Every golf coach, every person you see working in golf, started out wanting to be like Tiger Woods or Rory McIlroy. They didn't want to be a coach, they wanted to be a player, and it just so happens that unfortunately they're not good enough to make it as a player, so they end up finding a career within the game that they love because they know their level. Like I did. Does Hartley still do WEC? I think so. I think he's still part of Toyota, isn't he? You could have back the German GP, the Indian GP, Malaysian GP, or the Turkish GP. How would you rank them in terms of preference? For me, it would be Malaysian GP number 1, Turkish GP number 2. It would be German GP number 3, and then it would be Indian GP, and then French GP. I'm not a fan of either French tracks, and yeah, I think number 1 for me is Malaysia because of the interchanging. It's a wicked track, provides great racing, and of course you had changeable conditions. It rained quite a bit there. And then Turkey. Turkey needs to be there. Like, such a great track. Changeable conditions again, but also provides good racing. And yeah, and then of course, Hockenheim or Nürburgring. Give me either. They're my top 3. France needs a new F1 track. Yeah, I was never a fan of Paul Ricard or Magny-Cours. Magny-Cours would be terrible for modern F1 now as well. They'd be so boring of a race. There's like nowhere to. There's like one place to overtake, and you need to try and stay close within the dirty air through turn 3. Is it like the big right-hander? It just ain't happening. Ain't happening. Magny-Cours is on the SF calendar. I'm not a big fan of that. There'll be lots of deaths in that chicane. Lewis Hamilton back out on track, ladies and gentlemen. 52 laps completed thus far. 4 attempts back off of Antonelli's fastest time. The driver who's currently replaced him. 62 laps completed for Antonelli. He's putting in lots of laps here this morning. Obviously, rookie, wanting to get plenty of run time in. They could interchange Singapore and Malaysia every year, maybe. Yeah, I mean, I think Malaysia should just be added permanently, to be honest with you. What we got left? 36 minutes, just over 36 minutes until the AM session is complete. Magny-Cours still more overtaken than Monaco. That's true, Mark. Yeah, that's true. Monaco's a low bar for overtaking. Indian GP is not coming on the calendar unless there is an Indian superstar in F1. I saw somewhere that the Indian GP circuit is actually sinking. Is that right? I swear I saw that reported somewhere. One track to remove. Okay, one track to remove, and it cannot be Monaco. No, it's rumours. Okay, just rumours then. One track to remove, but it can't be Monaco. There's a few I'd like to remove. Abu Dhabi? Yeah, I'd like to see Abu Dhabi removed. My next number one to be removed after Monaco, excluding Monaco, is Mexico. Can't stand that track. Such a boring race. Oh, but it's got the stadium. Look how cool the atmosphere is. No. The stadium actually ruins the racetrack because it slows everything down. If we had the old corner, it would be such a better racetrack. Wouldn't solve the issues of the track itself, but it would improve it. So, Mexico for me. That's it. Peratoda. Bring back Peratoda. Bring back Peratoda. Bring back Peratoda. How am I doing, Vara? I'm doing well, thank you. Hope you're good. Yeah, I hope everyone else is good if you're tuning in. And I hope I'm making your Wednesday a lot easier for you. Of course, it is still morning here in the UK, but for many of you, it is later on in the day. Some of you, it's even really early morning. So yeah, hope it's going well for you. Of course, we'll be back. We only have 34 minutes left of this AM session, and we'll be back, of course, for the afternoon as well. I know there's lots of other channels out there with larger followings that you can go and check out, but I'll tell you what, you don't get the same interaction yeah, commentary that you do here. Mexico and iRacing will be fun in the F. Yeah, I don't want Mexico being added to iRacing. Just why? Why is that track being added to iRacing? Should have Qatar as a track to delete, followed by Abu Dhabi. Mexico needs its layout change. I just don't like Mexico in general. I think it's always been boring. We haven't had a good race there. Also, what else? Yeah, I could see Abu Dhabi being removed. I just think that's also boring. We're excluding Monaco because Monaco isn't never going to be removed. What else would I like to see removed? I'm trying to think. So many tracks on the calendar now, I can't remember. You know what? I'm Vegas. I'm actually hold my hands up that I was wrong. I wasn't impressed with Vegas being added. But I'll tell you what, it's provided us 2 good races. Will it be a third this year? We'll see. But yeah, I actually have been pleasantly surprised by Vegas, and I'm happy to be proven wrong there. So I can give you 1 million reasons Abu Dhabi is there to stay. Oh, it's a lot more than 1 million reasons. It's a lot more than 1 million. Miami is so terrible, I forgot about it. Yeah, I'd like to see Miami go. I mean, what a terrible track to have a sprint race at as well. Miami's not much better. What are the 2 columns for tyre history? So that's just basically the last 2 sets of tyres that they used. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I don't even really need. You don't really need to see all of that tyre history. The one on the left-hand side is on here is the one that they're currently on, and then this is the one that they was on prior. But yeah. Hey, Reventh. But yeah, the number next to it is how many laps they've done on that tyre. So yeah, no worries, Ben. Good to see you, mate. See you soon. But yeah, what have we got calendar-wise? I mean, there's so many tracks that I would like to remove from the calendar, to be perfectly honest with you. So, right, this is going to be controversial. This might be controversial, and I'm sorry to my Australian fans and viewers right now. But we need to move away from Melbourne. When was the last time we actually had, excluding the absolute shit show that was the red flag restart at the end, but I'm sorry, we never have, and I'm looking forward to going, because it's the first race of the season, of course I'm hyped. I'm hyped for the race at Australia, but it's just not good. It's just not a good race, is it? When someone tell me the last time we had a good race at Melbourne. Waiting. ...2003. You're telling me, Taco, we're having to go back 22 years for us to have a decent race at Melbourne? Is that how long we've been going to Melbourne? 2013. In this decade, please? Within the last decade? So, like, yeah, it's a bit controversial, but I think, I still think we should stay in Australia. I just think we need to find a different circuit. They added 4 bloody DRS zones, and it still didn't improve the racing. So I'm not saying remove Australia in general, but just move away from Melbourne Park. So Melbourne is like discount Canada with less overtaking and more dirty air. Australia has the bend and has the real estate to create a world-class dedicated Grade 1 circuit. Yeah, I think they should. So it's a great track when people crash. Yeah, that's because there's lots of walls. But I do think, yeah, they need to build one. They do need to build one. What are the extra bits of the yellow brackets for some of the mediums represent? You have spotted exactly what I was looking for, John. Oh, you are an absolute legend. Well done. So, I did see a comment on this. So, basically, this week, if you go to my Discord, if you're not in the Discord already, join in the description below. In the Real Life Racing tab, channel, I have posted what Pirelli have put in regards to tyre allocations for this week. And, oh yeah, I haven't got it assigned. Sorry, Taco. Yeah, no worries. Good luck, buddy. We'll be back here this week. We'll be back, obviously, the next few days. We've got C1, C2, C3, C4, C5, C6 being used this week. All compounds of tyre. Basically, the C1, when you've got the brackets to determine, because there's different hard compounds and medium compounds, without brackets is the C1. With brackets is the C2. So basically the one above that. So without brackets is odd numbers. C1, C3, C5. With brackets is the soft. So basically, yeah. With brackets is the softer compound of that tyre. Think of it that way. Yeah, that's it. Got there eventually. So yes, if you've got the hard compound there, this one is an example. Albon is now on the softer of the harder compound tyre, which is the C2. Same as the medium here with Doohan. He is on the C5, C4, sorry, which is the softer of the mediums. So. Problem with Melbourne is this track don't fit the new cars. Back in the day, it was really good, like every race. Sydney F1 track would be a good replacement for Melbourne. What, in Sydney? Oh, no, sorry, the Sydney track itself. Yeah, I saw the supercar race there. Is that the one they had the supercar race at the weekend? What mega racing that was. The 2011 Melbourne GP, last good race you remember. This, I mean, you're going back over 10 years. So, I'm looking at more. I was looking at racetracks, wasn't I? I was looking at racetracks as the drivers just going through their motions. No fastest laps being put in right now. So we've got Japan, China, Miami. Yeah, get rid of Miami. I just find that boring. I love Imola to race, sim racing wise, but it doesn't. It's so tricky to overtake there in modern F1. It's so tricky. It's always been a tricky track to overtake, and it's just. I mean, with the increase of dirty air that we saw as well. I mean, there were no overtake. There was like 2 overtakes last year, and they all happened into turn 1. It's just. I love Imola, but yeah, it's just not suited to modern F1. What else we got? Yeah, Abu Dhabi. Singapore? What's your thoughts on the Singapore Grand Prix? I'm a bit of a mixed bag about Singapore. Qatar? Yeah, I don't think Qatar's suited for F1. It's a motorbike track. Imola, Mugello, Monza, Mazzano. 2 must stay, 2 must go. Monza and Mazzano, because I think Mazzano would probably have more overtaking, whereas Mugello doesn't. We've been to Mugello before and there was not a lot of overtaking. Singapore G. Yeah, see, lots of people really like it. I don't feel like there's a lot of actual racing, though. Like wheel-to-wheel racing. I feel like it's more so the carnage that happens due to weather conditions and someone having an issue. But I mean, not every race has to be perfect. I mean, this is just in an ideal world. Of course, I want tracks where we're going to get good wheel-to-wheel racing. But Singapore is yeah, I'm like middle of the road with Singapore. Right, so 25 minutes left of this session. How are we getting on? Ollie Behrman is still setting lap times in the 35s. He's just not interested in going anything lower than a mid 35. Antonelli's back in the pits. Liam Lawson is out there on a set of C4s. Lewis Hamilton on a set of C4s as well, which is the medium compound tyre. So if you're aware of what tyres were used here last year, so of course they've got all tyres available to use for them this week, but Bahrain is quite a high abrasive circuit, so in regards to lap times and so forth, on the softer compounder tyres, they will fall off quite quickly. So last year the C1 was the hard compound tyre, the C2 was the medium, and then the C3 was the soft compound tyre. So anyone who's using the medium with the brackets there, Antonelli, Lawson, Hamilton, Doohan, they're in effect using what would be considered an ultra soft tyre here at Bahrain. So yeah, that's why those lap times are going to be slow at the moment and drop off quite considerably. Singapore is a novelty, would be fun as an alternating GP with Melbourne. Please don't kill me, Aussie fans. I think they've all gone to sleep. Actually, no, it's the middle of the night. It's nice evening time for you guys, isn't it? Let's bring back Zeltweg Airfield to replace Red Bull Wing. I like the Red Bull Ring. I do. It provides such great racing. Suzuka has to be protected, yeah. Do those pink super soft tyres still exist? Technically, no. But this season, we do have the C6 tyre, which we discovered earlier on that is, in effect, a ultra-soft tyre. So it will only be available at street circuits. And, yeah, that will end up being the soft... I think that would be just the soft compound tyre at street circuits. So... Love Red Bull Ring as well, just for safety rating. It's the worst thing ever invented, I know. Especially, whose savagery was it to put Red Bull Ring straight after Imola Taco? I mean, did they just want us to lose all of our safety rating? I'll say it, rotate out Suzuka for Fuji. Every Fuji race has been an all-time great. Suzuka is a snoozer 75% of the time, even though it's great fun to drive. Ooh, yeah, I mean, I have to agree, really. The last few Suzuka races have been a bit meh, haven't they? I think, once again, it just boils down to the cars, doesn't it? The cars are just too big. They're providing too much dirty air, and they're just not able to follow closely enough and overtake. Hamilton just did a bunch of high 36s, very consistent, but a little bit slow. Yeah, that's understandable. He is, in effect, on that ultra soft tyre, which we just mentioned. He's on the C4 compound at the moment, and he's done 19 laps on them. So that is a fair old way on that set of tyre. So no wonder he's falling back into the 36s. Singapore seems to be really grueling along for the drivers, which creates some interesting dynamics. When you're there, it's always humid as hell, too. Hard walking around, let alone being strapped to a car. Yeah, well, the key stat there is that they always say they lose about 8 kilograms of water weight, don't they, in the duration of a race at Singapore. So, hey mate, you're from India and it's second year, no broadcasting rights bought. What's the best way to watch F1? Right here, Adam. Right here. So, of course, yes, due to copyright reasons, you cannot view any TV coverage online, and we cannot show that. So the next best thing is to join this watch-along where you have the live data and you have the track map here. Of course, I provide my own commentary as well. At the moment, it's a bit different because we're just having a general chit-chat. It's testing. But yes, just have a little check of some of my previous watch-alongs from last year, particularly have a look at the last lap of Abu Dhabi as an example. That's what we do here. And yeah, it's an experience. You get to experience it with others. That's the beauty of these watch-alongs. That and Fuji always rains. I think it's the only F1 circuit to have a 100% track record for rain going back to the 70s. Really? Fuji has a 100% rain for that, is it? He was a race official in Singapore GP when we had the normally aspirated in. Was you really, Tudor? Ah. Was you there for Crashgate with Alonso and PK? We're so back. Hey, Whiplash. Hey, Glenn. Good day. How is doing travelling so far? Just tuned in. Also, what time does the second session start, please? Yeah, Doing's doing okay. Yeah. Seems to be doing all right. 4 attempts off the fastest time. Not too bad. Of course, it is just testing. We don't know what variables there are, of course. Engine modes, battery modes, fuel, etc., etc. But yeah, seems to be doing okay. Good start to his career in F1. I mean, he needs to make a mark, doesn't he? If he wants to showcase that he deserves a seat in F1 moving forwards, because I think we're all kind of accepting that he has a very limited time this season to prove himself. But yes, the afternoon session will start. So the session ends in 20 minutes. So basically, the next session starts in an hour and 20 minutes. I've already got the stream set up, so you can head over to my get that set up on a separate window right now, so you can wait for us to go live. Everyone up from hibernation, yeah. Lawson's very consistent in the low 35s. Yeah, Lawson is looking good. So he's on that medium compound tyre with the brackets there. So the little wings that you can see on the tyres here indicates that he's on the softer compound of that medium. If it doesn't have it and it has a single, doesn't have it there, you can see the medium here on Piastri and Alonso. That means they're on the harder type. So, did you actually, Adam? Ah, thank you, mate. You can have F1 TV. Yeah, F1 TV is definitely a great service that you can purchase and use alongside us. Hello, lunchtime soon. Are you going to go out? 20 minutes. It's alright, I don't mind taking her. Sort yourself out. As long as I've got a muslin. Come here. Yeah, don't mind. I know, she hasn't got the F1 suit on. I've got a special guest for you all, guys. Come here. Hello. Mwah. Say hello to everyone. Say hello. Hello. This is baby Stuffeyy. The Verstappen project. This is your debut. This is your debut. Thanks. What are we doing here? You watching F1 testing? Yeah. She's just woken up from a nap. Antonelli is champion material. Maybe it's very young, very young. Not as young as this one. It's alright. She hasn't had anything to eat, so hopefully she doesn't throw up. Is there a way you can infuse my commentary while watching F1 TV? Yeah, I think with F1 TV, I think there's the option to mute commentary. I think you can just have sounds. Like the sound, like you can turn commentary off and just have the sound of the cars. I think, Adam. I think. So, she ain't got no idea what's happening. No, she has no idea. But she's calm. She's calm. Allowing the missus to get ready so she can go get her nails done on the lunch break. So this is Mila. This is Mila. So yeah, five months now she is. 5 months. So yeah, she's getting there. Oh, little burp. Big sigh. Big sigh. She's probably like, why have I been woken up? Farming baby for views? No, I'm just trying to take her off the missus' hands for a little while. Hey Chemod, start them young, get her in a cart. Well, the problem is it's very expensive to go karting now these days. So yeah, should be doing something that's a little bit more affordable. Yeah. Can't really speak yet, of course. Only 5 months, so. But yeah, time flies. 5 months. I know. Back in October it was. But yeah, I can always sell kidneys. That's true. You only need the one. Although I might keep them just in case she needs one when she's older. You know, you just never know. But only 14 minutes. It's under 15 minutes of this practice session. This AM session now. But yeah, I think really Lawson and Antonelli looking good, particularly Liam Lawson. His pace has been very good. And the runs. Of course, he had that little wobble, didn't he? He had that little wobble. I'm still trying to see if anyone on track has been able to... if anyone's hit that curb through turn 3 as hard as what Liam Lawson does. If it was just him or if it was something else. So. Thank you, Simplicity. Yeah. Thank you. No, this isn't a regular occurrence. This is her first time. It's just obviously just helping the missus out. So I'm normally not off during the week. I've taken some time off of work to provide this testing for you. So yeah, I thought, you know what, we'll get her on here, help her out. Piastri low, yeah, sandbagging. They're not pushing too hard. I don't expect to see really any quick times from McLaren this week. I really don't. I think they're just going to hold back. They did that. We mentioned it a number of times already this morning, but it's what they did throughout practice sessions last year. Always kind of held their cards close to their chest, and I think they're going to do the same again this year. So. Probably she's not overstimulated. She's got this massive wide screen. She's got the one above me. I've got the TV coverage here. Or maybe this is something that I need to do more often. Keep her calm. But I'm interested to see if there's any kind of footage. Oh, hang on. Is there anything going on with this at the moment. Let's have a look. Right. Anything of note to report? Max, for confirmation, everyone. Max Verstappen will be in the car this afternoon for you Max fans. So yes, Max Verstappen will be in the car this afternoon. That has just been confirmed. Yeah, not really much to report, to be honest with you, in regards to discussions. I wonder what people are saying online. I bet people are over-analysing times and stuff like anything right now. So many people analysing squiggly lines, circles. That's all my Twitter feed is full of right now. At this rate, her first words will be lights out and here we go. Yeah. I should have her watch the F1 Kids. Maybe. Maybe. She's still just not really sure what's happening. Put something on your cheek. Not really sure what's kind of happening on TV and that at the moment. It's just kind of colours, bright colours, of course. So obviously F1 will be great because there'll be lots of bright colours, lots of different bright liveries for her to look at. But yeah. Should be turning on Skibbity Toilet for her. Bit of dribble. Bit of dribble. I do have an F1 one. I do have an F1 onesie for her though. But I need to get her in. She's nearly there. She's nearly at that size to get her into it, so. Get her watching cars, work for Lawson. Yes! I guess her favourite track is Emilia. Emilia. What do I think about the possibility of cars going back to V10 engines again? I think it would heaps better. Yeah, so look, personally, I think that's something that we all would love to have. However, it's just not really feasible. Because whether we like it or not, the engines always kind of have to have a road relevance to... They always have to have a road relevance to them. So that means we're pigeonholed into what the manufacturers want. If we go back to V10s... which is possible with, of course, the introduction of sustainable fuels now, it means that no car manufacturer is making a V10 at the moment. The likes of Mercedes, the likes of, obviously Renault aren't making engines anymore, but the likes of Renault and that. So they're just not, it's not how they're developing their cars and creating their cars, which is a real shame. But who knows, maybe in the future that might happen. Let's be honest, MBS, Mohammed Ben Sulayem, is only talking about this because it is another way to kind of antagonise the Formula One group, Liberty Media, and everyone else basically up and down the paddock. Seems to be his favourite. Seems to be his favourite pastime. But who knows? Maybe in the future that will happen or not. But started the dad jokes yet? Yes, of course I have, Georgian. The missus is the only one who can kind of really understand them at the moment, so. Camila, say hello. Say hello to everyone. This is like the most calm I've seen her. Oh. Say hello to everyone. Just chilling. Just chilling. She can't be a driver, she can be an engineer. Yeah. It's going to be a smart one. I hope. Yay! Smile for the stream. Smile for the stream. Like a dad, just need to get her in front of F1 and she's sorted. Exactly, exactly. But 8 minutes, less than 10 minutes now to go until this morning session is over and done with, guys. Thanks for joining me this morning. Of course, we'll be back after lunch for the hang on. Just talking about Jack Doohan on the TV coverage, just saying how it's like really quite poor, really, how everything's happening. Just make a rebooks on the age of 2 and should be a grandmaster and make millions, then racing career starts. Exactly. Your eyes cannot accept Red Hamilton. I know. I've got used to it, actually. I've got used to it. I quite like his helmet as well. Do you like Hamilton's helmet as well, yeah? He's yellow with the 44 on it, yeah? That's a big yes. That's a big yes. You speak that language, Taco, yeah. That's how I talk after a few pints. It's 5 AM for you, so very tired. Need my cars going in funny shaped circles. Get some sleep. Unless you're waking up at 5 AM, that is. But afternoon session will be interesting. I think the fast lap's going to tumble. Yeah, track's going to get quicker and quicker. I mean, it should get warmer. It should get warmer. Of course, they started early here at Bahrain. So it should get warmer. It's going to finish at 7 PM. They're 3 hours ahead. So be glad. Yeah, Max is in the car this afternoon. So I think everyone's going to swap over. Leclerc will be in, of course. Norris, Bortoletto. We'll see how he gets on. It'll be interesting to see if Ocon does any quicker laps than what Behrman did. Quite surprised by the Haas's run. I mean, he's done 72 laps, so clearly planned by Haas to go that slow, turn everything down, and not put in any quicker laps. Yeah, well, isn't it like ridiculous, like 3 AM in the morning for you, Taco? Hadjar as well. Yep, see how Hadjar gets on. Lance Stroll's always exciting prospect. You're right there. Lots of. She's teething at the moment. Lots of dribble. Ugh. Icky. You want to hold the steering wheel? There you go. It begins. Project Verstappen has begun. Oh, let's make sure we don't hit your head. How cute, thanks, yeah. He'll be able to compare Doohan's times to Gasly, yes. Yeah, but that's the good thing, yeah, we'll be able to compare some times. Of course, still don't know what fuel load they got and runs and stuff like that, so. I heard a burp. Oh, no. Don't like it there, do you? No. Okay. Sit back this way. There we go. Is that because you couldn't see the TV? Is that because you couldn't see the TV coverage? There we go. Oh, no. I know! It's just the AM session's coming to an end. No! No! Colapints are going to be getting lots of close-ups whenever Doohan does anything like Liam in 24. 100%, yeah. It's not fair, unfortunately. It's really not fair. Hey! Hey, it's okay. We'll give you a bottle in a second. You got 3.5 minutes. 3.5 minutes. It's okay. Oh, God. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Hey. Hey. Yeah, if you don't mind. Starting to get a bit unsettled.
Why are you crying?
Give you a bottle in a minute, yeah? There we go. There we go. You're going to die, you want to be a dad now. It is cool, it is wicked. It's a great feeling. Baby needs to be on the Watchalong often. It's a she. I know she looks like a he at the moment. It's difficult to tell when they're young. Difficult to tell. But yeah, no, it's amazing to see her grow and to have that back and forth and stuff. So yeah, it's amazing. Anyone who's been through it will know. Obviously, everyone's experience is very different. But for me, nothing but positives. So I like the idea that Lawson will do the whole day tomorrow and Max all day on Friday. Oh, is that confirmed, Glenn? Is that confirmed? I mean, yeah, sometimes that happens, isn't it? I mean, it's a long old day though. It is a long old day to do 8 hours of testing. I mean, maybe it goes very quickly for them, but she's just spewing expert analysis of the cars and data she's seeing. Yeah, she didn't like the way they were talking about Jack Doohan. Where she starts crying back to mum. I would have persevered if there was like a minute left, but yeah, conscious that you guys, it's maybe not quite as no one likes a baby crying at the end of the day. Max is coming in this afternoon, Jacobs. Yes, he is. So, right, we have 1 minute 30 left of this session. And, well, Antonelli is at the top of your timing sheets. I don't think there's going to be any improvement on times now. Antonelli, a 31.4 for him. And Liam Lawson did a 31.5. Albon, a 31.5 as well as Yuki Tsunoda did a 31.6. Hamilton, 31.8. His first ever official session in the Ferrari. The red overalls. Doing 6th. Alonso 7th. Piastri not really showing any sort of hand. McLaren in this early stages of testing in P8. Hulkenberg in P9. And Behrman 4 seconds off of the pace. The top 9 was separated by 7.5 tenths. And interesting that Behrman was 4 seconds slower. So, yeah, a conscious decision by Haas to go that slow. But they still did 72 laps. So, Antonelli did the most laps with 78. Well, could be even, yeah, probably maybe even one more. 78. Liam Lawson, 58. Albon, 63. Tsunoda did 76. Hamilton, 69. Ooh. Could be even one more. Doohan, no, it won't be anymore. Doohan, 68, Alonso, 46, Piastri, 63, Hulkenberg, 55, and Behrman, 72. So, yeah, Alonso, not sure why they did so few. I'll have a check in the break to see exactly why. And, yeah, Hulkenberg in P9, there were 55 laps as well. So, yeah, I was impressed by Lawson. He only did 58 laps, but I was impressed by Lawson and the times that he was setting on the hard compound tyre. So, yeah. Looks like a level. Well, he is sponsored by Lululemon now, isn't he? How many sessions until the next session? Yeah, so we'll be back. We'll be back in an hour's time. So there we go. 0 seconds on the clock now, and that is it. Testing is over and done with. So next session, you can go and head over to the stream now. We will be live in an hour's time. But yeah, really intriguing there from the start. Antonelli starting off his Mercedes career at the top of the standings. Of course, it's all fun and games in testing. We don't know what battery, engine mode, fuel load, setups that they're running. But regardless, it's got to be a confidence booster for both Antonelli and Lawson to start their first official session at the top of the timing sheet. So maybe that was a conscious decision by both Red Bull and Mercedes to ensure that they pumped in some, relatively speaking, decent lap times. And we were already quicker than the fastest race lap that Max Verstappen did in Bahrain last year. 7 tenths quicker, actually. Nearly 8 tenths quicker. So we're nearly a second quicker already in the first session compared to what these cars were able to achieve last year, which is about on par with what we've seen progression-wise in lap time year on, year out in this current regulation set. But yeah, have a good lunch break, eat, sleep, wherever you are in the world. I'm going to go grab some lunch, make the most of this hour, and we'll be back in a short while. We'll see you then. Bye. Why is it not working?